We need a Starkey masterclass tonight, don't we?
Yep, we do indeed.
Alright, we should probably roll the intro. You ready to go?
Yeah, well, I would have thought you would have already rolled it, Schmitty, but yeah, go your hardest. Let's go.
I'm just busy looking at other shit, and I looked at the time like, oh,
yep. Oh fuck, here we go. Yeah. It happens to the best of us. Don't worry. I've still got some party pies and sausage rolls to munch on here as we go. So at some point, I might get Bondi to talk us through a lap of Le Mans.
I don't know any corner names, by the way.
It doesn't matter. Because by the time you get to the Mulsanne Straight, we can just listen to the engine rev. You've got enough time to go and make a coffee, as do I.
The track temperature's rising. It's
and
now 33
that'll be that.
Celsius.
Which reminds me, actually, I should probably... Oh, where the fuck's that? There, that's it. That. I could do with that.
Actually, probably shouldn't put that on my story.
Just don't miss the start by doing that this time around, would you?
I think I've still got a minute.
Good boy.
yeah, still 20 seconds in qualifying.
The car in front has just done a 4:15. That's the end of the session, P3.
Oh, actually, that reminds me, I should probably do this. Sorry, I've been tied down with other things for the day.
Round 10 of the GT4s here from Le Mans.
Grand final week continues for you on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook and YouTube. It is night 4 of the 10th and final week, the 40th and final of the season, the 10th and final week of term 4, the 40th and final of what has been a very hectic year on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. And we are thankfully welcoming you to a far drier Circuit de la Sarthe in the south of France than what we saw on Monday night in a very saturated, soaked, sodden, wet, slippery grand final affair in that GT3 series with thanks to Waste Options. This is Disruptive Labs GT4. Again, it's a dead rubber, but bragging rights still very much firmly on the line tonight as we get ready for 60 minutes of racing here. Hence the earlier start too, ladies and gentlemen. There are the times and listings for you. 3:15 local server time. Hello to our audience in Queensland, because this is August 6, 2026. We've actually gone forward into the future, something you wouldn't know anything about. They're obviously in that wonderful time of the year where they observe daylight saving, so sunset isn't a threat to us this evening. 13 kilometre an hour winds in an easterly direction, 22 degrees the ambient, 33 on track, dry conditions, but it is overcast. The circuit, 13.5 kilometres, and as I said, the championship already wrapped up in favour of Andrew Dyson. But the positional battles beyond that will, of course, continue throughout the rest of this night. Guy Leach sits on another 313 points in second. The margin's 119. 287 for Richard King, Jeff Adams 284, and Sam Chapman 275. Adam Lavis 273. Sits there in sixth spot. Bondi, who's in the booth with us tonight, 248. 220 for Brett Barker. Mosmoroz 219 and Jackson Rayhana 218. Big field in the house tonight. Here's a look at how they line up for you. Jordan Malcolm on pole position alongside Sam Chapman, Craig Bond, Stephen Ball from the second row, Ryan Jones, Reece King, third row, Jeff Adams, Andrew Dyson, fourth row. Yeah, Dyson's on the fourth row, the outside of the fourth row, probably the lowest you've seen him.
This is a rolling start.
In a genuine, legitimate grid setting through a qualifying session this turn. 8th is where he'll start. 9th is Paul Wood. 10th is Michael Adams. That rounds up the top 10. We've already got Stephen Bull starting from pit lane, so he's missed the jump
Safety car
completely.
speed is
Richard King and Adam
85
Davis from
kilometres
6,
per
Jack
hour.
Glass, Paul Mosmoroz from 7, Sean Benici and Wayne Taylor from 8, Dale Sharp, Tim Ward from 9, David Baz and Justin Kahir from 10. Damien Seeger from 11 alongside Ash Stacey, 12, Shane Beaumont, JD Dent, 13,
close the
Greg
gap to the
Yames
guy
out
ahead,
there,
please,
so too
Craig.
Brett Barker, and then Guy Leach, Eduardo Zamora and Will Ramsden make up a 29 car field. I'm Zach Coburn, Matt Schmidtke's here alongside me. Big night ahead, folks. We're off to Interlagos once we're done here. France and Brazil, the last
Catch
two
up to car
times
number
those countries were this
035.
prominent was, of course, the 1998 FIFA World Cup final, when they, of course, first one another in France. They're the settings tonight. They're the playgrounds, and we're looking forward to a live decider in the Porsche Elite Cup, but of course the open split already going to Paul Wilson. The battle, there's a bit of an update there too, by the way, between Betty Patterson and Hayden Smith will ignite tonight. The teammates will duke it out in a winner-takes-all situation. Great to have everybody tuning in. It is, of course, we're about 8 minutes away from tea at the Gather. Day one of the second test, the Ashes, the second session. 45 overs bowled here. Australia well behind on the overrate. God, that's annoying me at the moment. The overrate's a very slow and steady sort of first day. It doesn't help that they haven't picked a spinner in the field. But England are going along okay. 4 for 194. Probably their best score of the series so far. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Poms can muster up here. Under the lights tonight, in the air, not going to get it. They had a chance there, but unfortunately no fielder in position to get to the ball before it hit the deck. So they've got Benny Stokes scrambling, they've got Joe Root under the pump as well. 4 for 194 there. Our focus returns here for the moment. We hope the Aussies will bat tonight. Play continues through till 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. We're on air for a long night because we've got sprint racing. The Porsche is getting underway at 8:45 Eastern, sorry, 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time as well. They're off, they're racing. The final one of the season in Disruptive Loves GT4. Terrific start, Jordan Malcolm. Bondi's got the ground required to cover off the onslaught of the would-be attackers behind him, and he'll go second of the first quarter. Have a look at this, moves on the inside already, and contact and gone. Wowee. That is Andrew Dyson. That is Andrew Dyson for DPR Racing. His first incident of the night happens to be in the very second corner of the motor race. The first braking zone. You wouldn't fair dinkum believe it. Wayne Taylor's also off the road. Stephen Bull rejoins the circuit from pit lane. And JD Dent's on the tow rope already. Drama already on the opening lap at the circuit de la Sarthe. Malcolm and Bond skip clear. And look at Bondi weaving, trying to get some heat into the tyres or put Jordan Malcolm off. Probably a combination of the above. No, Malcolm's going to weave as well. Here they go. Doing the tango down the Mulsanne. Look at Bond now with the lights flashing in the distance, trying to distract Malcolm any way he can. Malcolm on the brakes to the first of the chicanes. They go right, they go left, they go right again, back onto the Mulsanne. Now, what we can tell you, there is, we'll pick up who that is in just a moment. I think it's James Glasspool. So disaster for the DPR boys in the first few moments here. Dyson's down 12 spots, Keen's down 15, Bull down 21, having started from pit lane. Glasspool down 14. Unbelievable drama.
Race control, cars.
And Ryan Jones is slotted into third spot. Sam Chapman's the one that lost out off the jump. He's dropped down 2 spots. Michael Adams up 5 spots, Adam Lavis up 6 spots on the opening lap. Plenty of moving and shaking already. Now, the time in qualifying was about a 4:13. Have a look at this. Have a look at the sliding, the commitment on the opening lap. We're hoping it's not a tame, processional, sort of dull, lame, tame affair, ladies and gentlemen. We're hoping that it'll liven up a little bit here throughout the course of the night and keep things interesting. We don't want to offer up something processional on grand final night. But don't forget, tomorrow night, 90 minutes around the Brickyard for the Indian XTs. They'll be, of course, with you from 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Looking forward to that. Guy Leach in 7-8 at the end of the Mulsanne. And side by side with Ash Stacey now. Good to see all 6 manufacturers in this field are represented. And I'm just double checking that I've got the sums right there. Actually, no. I apologise. Only 5. No Mercedes entries out there tonight. No Mercs. Everything else, Ford, Porsche, Aston, BMW and McLaren all represented, but no Mercs. Have a look at this. Good work, Guy Leach, to hold on to 7-8, despite obvious pressure early. Dan Yeaman, the big mover, up 11 spots. That's him in behind Dale Sharp at the moment. And Sharpie didn't get the good run required off the right-hander, and Yeaman's going to pull straight on by. Yeaman to 13. Your Wednesday night colleague, Matt Schmidtke, of course, you two have rock and rolled, well, for 60% of the season. I was here for the other 40%. He's out there and he's making moves early on the opening lap.
Yep, and he certainly is. Last night he said he might have a skid since he's got the night off, and he is certainly making the most of it. Having started from the back, he's halfway through the field on one lap. We'll have to see where he gets to.
Yep, and it did well not to end up in an
That's
incident.
all. He's
Oh, he has now, and he's blocked Dale Sharp and balked Tim Ward.
I reckon he's kept it out of the wall though. That was a very good save.
A magnificent
And then he's
save.
just got clipped by.
Until then,
Yeah.
he got clipped by Brett Barker on the way through. Oh dear.
P2.
Good to see a few people got along to the first and only New Zealand round of the Shannon Speed Series. Early last month. One down. 4 minutes 20 on the opening lap. Pace was about 4 minutes 15. So that's going to be 4 laps every... Oh, God. It's going to test me here. 4
Slippery
laps every
surface, like,
17
careful.
minutes. So you're probably looking at... And if there is compulsory pit stops required, this will actually impact the state of play as well. Remember, this was a contentious talking point on Monday night, and let's hope we don't have a repeat of that stupidity. Oh no, Chapo on Daiso on lap 1, and a 5-second invoice comes his way as a result of the contact there. So Chapo and Jones has got by Bondi. What have you done, Bondi? No.
Fuck's sake,
Bondi's
Craig.
lost out
Come on,
to
mate.
two.
Defend
He's
your
lost out
position.
to Jones. He's lost out to Chapman. He's already got Chapman back on corrected order because Capo's got a 5-second invoice coming his way, and he's already vulnerable to Michael Adams, Adam Lavis, and Jeff Adams as well. Bondi, good evening. Was that a slowdown or an error?
Slow down.
Okay. Yeah, you'll see a few of them picked up tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and they are bloody costly as well. Greatness is in the house too, gentlemen. Greatness.
Right, the guy ahead of us is Chapman, and their rating is 4.4.
Matty Dench has just been putting a comment into the thread of the Porsche Cup in our Discord. So, I dare say, the comeback is on tonight. Another reason to be excited about this tantalising grand final in prospect here.
Gap to P5. Behind is now
Bondi down the
1.3.
wall sign. We pick up Ryan Jones. Ryan running a very nice livery, actually. Can we get a look at that side on, please, Matty Schmidt? Is that possible? Let's see what we can do here. Not bad. I'm just trying to work out who the livery is a tribute to, because that's what the DPR boys have been doing all season. They've been doing very, very well.
Died by the looks of it.
Yep, I'd say so. But yes. Hello, Michael Heaney. Good evening to you. Hey, if Corey Lazarus is in the house as well, I'm all for it. We've been waiting all season to see if those boys would return to the platforms of GSRC and graces with their presence once more. Matty Dench is definitely in the house. I know there were feelers put out to try and lure Corey Lazarus in as well. If they've managed to do so, that'd be awesome. Let's have a look here. 5-second penalty for car 774. So a couple of 5-second penalties already handed out. We're only on the second lap. I think I owe you guys a lap counter, and I'll get back to that in just a moment. I'm just, you'll have to bear with me, folks. It's been a bit of a busy afternoon, and I got derailed with a 20-minute phone call just right before jumping in the broadcast booth, which interfered with setup time. But this is the thing,
The
right?
gap to Adams
We can
behind
say
is now
that,
1.4
we're here
seconds.
thanks to the great people at Destructive Labs, Waste Shopping, Trophy AI, Pentec Industries, Sprite and Soda, merch.cgsrci.com and Flash Graphics. The pit lane protocols to be met in this race are that there will be a 2 CPS requirement tonight. 2 CPS requirement in this race. And then in the Porsche Cup, there'll be a...
Red yellow flag. Watch for debris on the track.
Race 3. So that will be the requirements for them Sunday tonight. There should be no confusion on that after the debacle that was Monday night. Great to see. Oh, wide we go. Beaumont, pull it up. Grabbed it, caught it. Well played. So as a result of that match, Schmicky, 4:15 a lap. Okay, so 4:15 and 2 is 8.5. 2 is 17. Jordan Malcolm's just gone 4:14.452.
E4, 3 laps of fuel remaining.
And remember that the first lap was only 4 minutes 20, so we're in credit at the moment. We're trying to work back to that 4:15 marker. 4:15 a lap, 2 is 8.5, 2 is 17. 17 is 34, so there's 8 laps and 34 minutes the first half of the race comes and goes. Another 7 laps would get you to 15, and it would get you to 63 and 3/4 minutes, if I'm doing my numbers correctly. But what will push us over the top, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, will be those compulsory pit stops. So it could well be a case
Alright,
of,
Greg, we just cut the track.
hey guys, go and have at it. It's a full
You'll need to give back the time gained.
lap race. 14 laps, down the middle, 14, so 7, what did we say, 8.5, 17, 25.5, and then the extra 4.25 on top of that is 29 3/4. Add 2 trends the lane into that, that's more than half a minute. Your other 29 3/4 gets you the second 7 laps. You do a little bit of overtime. 3 wide for the first time in race conditions. Have a look at this. We picked up the battle for 11th there at Andrew Dyson on the comeback trail. Already victim of that incident on lap 1. Chapo getting the invoice for that. By the way, T at the Gabba. I know Bondi wants the cricket updates as much as anybody else, so do I. 4 for 196 through 47 overs. That over rate's of a concern. They're not going to bowl 43 overs in the final session of play. They don't have Nathan Lyon. But yes, we will have a legitimate chance of England batting out the day. Maybe even forcing a 3rd day in this test match. So that's very good, exciting times. Hang on. I missed the question.
Someone just asked what the customer injury was. I was just getting to it, and Josh was speaking to it.
Yeah, no, that's good. So essentially, tenner season is $1 a week. You get a slight, you get a slight discount of
Red, yellow flag,
basically
debris
you
on the
pay for
track.
9 weeks a season if you pay the yearly rate. Based on you literally save $1 per season. That's all you do. Buy 9, get the 10th free, sort of thing. That's the best way to explain that. 10 for the season, 36 for the year, and not too bad at all. I agree with that. So, good luck to all and sundry. If you're planning on joining the club and getting involved, we're back in action early 2026. Remember, tomorrow night's grand final night. Remember as well, if you haven't already, and you're part of our Indie NXT field, if you haven't already got in contact with Josh Duno and expressed your interest, I reckon, right, I'm going to answer the second question first here before I get to the point about next Sunday night. I reckon, and this is just me spitballing here, based on the fact that we started this year on January 20, I reckon January 19's your bingo number this year. Let me just double check that. I'm having a mental blank here. The 4th is the Sunday, 11th, 18th. Yeah, I reckon it's the 19th of January. But it could be the 26th. It'll just depend what the committee decides, whether they decide they have 6 weeks or 7 weeks break. So, but I'd pencil January 19 in the schedule. We take 6 weeks off. That's summer, that's Christmas, that's New Year, that's holiday, that's tools down for all of us in the broadcast crew and at committee level as well, who, as we say, works 40 weeks consecutive, like 40 weeks throughout the course of the season in 10-week blocks, with a 2-week break in between each term. So it's been a very, very busy year, and there's not been much time to put tools down and turn around everything between seasons either. 2 weeks comes and goes very quickly, especially if, like all of our guys, you're juggling other sim racing committees or real world commitments or just general life commitments.
The gap to
well.
P5 behind is now 1.2.
Adam Lavis is fifth.
Only 2 more laps of fuel.
Malcolm Jones, Chapman and Bond the top 4. Jordan Malcolm 4:13.752, the fastest lap of the race. So that's the only other thing too. If they can keep that pace up and not burn too much time in pit lane, maybe they force a 15th lap. But I'm pretty confident with 14. We'll see how that one goes. Again, I want to stress to everybody, tick it off the bingo card early. Maths is not a strong point. I'm just spitballing here. Malcolm, Jones, Chapman, Bond, Ford, Porsche, Ford. 4 different teams in the top 4. Malcolm in privateer status at the moment, it's important to note. Oh dear. Darren de Mulsanne once more. You're watching the closest battle on the circuit. Dyson's got Dan Yeaman for company now as well. So there'll be some fuel saving going on. There'll be some gamesmanship between those two gentlemen. You can almost guarantee it. Malcolm Jones, Chapman, Bond, Lavis and Adams. The top six. Down the Mulsanne. No moves just yet. Everybody happy to hold station. Status quo, follow the leader. All bets will be off on the last couple of laps, so Matt Schmidt, you can guarantee that. Especially for those guys that need those precious couple of championship points here and there to prop themselves up the order a little bit. Slowdowns coming the way of Baz and
Gap to
Bull
Maverick
at the moment.
behind is now 1.4.
I'm sure the gloves will be coming up on that last lap. On the best position possible. There's plenty of lower positions in the championship to be had.
I'm going to hazard a guess on that the main reason Stephen Bull started to pit lane would be by way of race control instruction at this time of the season. And you know what that's all about, Schmicky. We try and eliminate those that are just popping up to have a one-off affair, one-off hit with us. We try and put them out of the harm's way of any would-be championship contenders, although I'm a bit worried about why we're doing that tonight when this championship's already wrapped up. There's Paul Wood! Wowee! Down the inside! Gets by Jeff Adams, and both Michael Adams has contact! And it's Michael that loses out! Jeff was lucky! He had it slippery, but he caught it. Well played.
I reckon that might have been a 2-1 for Paul.
The gap to Maverick behind is increasing. It's now 1.9 seconds.
It's a switcheroo. It's Michael and Paul that are swapped around, and it's Jeff that's held station. He's neither gained nor lost in that instance. My little mate's still sitting there in fourth at the moment, which is not bad so far, Bondi.
Oh, disappointed I've had two slowdowns, but I'm slowly catching Chapo, so see what happens with pit stops.
The gap in front is
Let's
now
not get divided on that
1.8.
too early, because you're in good company. Jones has had a slowdown already. He's only, 4 seconds up the road. But no one's catching Jordan Malcolm tonight, Jesus. He's in a different postcode already. 3.74 seconds to good. Malcolm leads 4:13.752, fastest lap last time through. We're about to hit the end of lap 4 at the 17-minute mark, or 16.5-minute mark. Just repeating, day one, second test, England 4 for 196. Extraordinary to think that that's the best score England have mustered up so far this summer. Let's hope. Let's hope that the Aussie bowlers rip through the tail end of England tonight and they get a couple of overs with the bat. The interesting thing for mine was I had a friend message me earlier in the week, boys, and they said, "Oh look, you're the cricket expert. We'll trust you." And I was like, "Oh God, here we go." People gambling on and placing bets on cricket. If you're going to do it, folks, gamble responsibly and don't take my advice.
You've only got enough fuel for this lap.
One was, would there be a century from the Australian batter in the first innings? I said yes, but obviously we won't know that until Australia go after that. Over or under 3.5 wickets in the first session, I said under, and I didn't feel very confident with that at 2 for 7, I would say. Next minute, there's still 2 down the punch, so it's been 2 wickets per session so far that they've lost. The third one was whether or not both sides would bat on the first day. Based on Perth, I said yes. I said, again, at the moment, 4 down, I'm not very confident. I've got 2.5 hours to change my mind on that tonight. What's the average IR range to be remotely competitive? Well, that's a very good question, Matt Schmidt. I wouldn't know anything about that, but I would also suggest that it very much depends who's in the server on any given night.
Yeah, exactly. It's really a range of everyone, from people that are just starting out and learning how to race to people that compete on the international stage. But there's a car side where they say, I thought.
Yep, it is.
Yeah,
it's
so
Guy Leach again. So, and importantly as well, a few of the guys have come in and ticked off their first stop as well. So Tim Ward, Will Ramsden have done it. Shane Beaumont, Ash Stacey, Justin Kahir have just gone through as well. Go for it, Matt.
Yeah, so as long as you can keep it on the track and maintain pace, you should be right. There should always be someone for you to
The gap
run.
to Chapman
That's
in
how I
front is now
understand the club.
1.4
We're a
seconds.
club for everyone.
Dale
Yep,
Sharp
Boyd.
on screen at the moment. Go for it, Matt.
Oh yeah, if you can hold your line, then if you can keep it on track, you should find someone to race. It's good fun. There's a lot of people who've worked their way up through the club as well. They started off near the back, and some of them are some of the best drivers in the club now.
Normally race when I can, and I don't have the best IR score, but I hold my line from not had too many issues yet. That's exactly right. Now, let's remind everybody that I didn't get back to this point earlier. There'll be 2 broadcasts from the club on Sunday, the 14th of December, of our end of the year sign off. Essentially, it'll be our post-season show. Geez, that's messy, isn't it? That's really messy. So that's down towards the back end of the field.
Okay,
Now we're
Craig,
going inside
in
and
this
outside
lap,
of the
in
chicane.
this lap.
You're watching Will Ramsden, Tim Ward and Justin Kahir, and also Brett Barker on screen at the moment. Brett's at the head of this train. Down the North Arm we go. Tim Ward's just got by Will Ramsden. Still side by side. Big dive here. Brett's going to hold station. Will goes through on Tim Ward, and Justin Kahir tucks in and follows as well. Barker's wide on the exit. All good for the moment. Left-hand side of the screen, you'll see which lap everyone's coming to the pit lane there, ladies and gentlemen. That list will, of course, increase as the race goes on, because we're starting to get to that critical lap for these guys where they can pit comfortably the first time and then make it home with a second stop. And again, if you're talking only 14, 15 laps, you're talking 5-10, that's it, you know. There might be a little bit of variance, 4-9, 4-8, no, actually probably not 8. But yes, 5-8 would probably work. But no, 5-10, 4,
The gap
9,
to Chapman
5,
ahead is now
9,
1.0.
probably rule 8 out unless you see Jordan Malcolm go through and complete this 5th lap. No, he's in, so 5's about your threshold, folks. So that means that 9 and 10 are the critical numbers to watch for the second round of pit stops.
We've been warned about track limits.
I'll
Pit
come
lane
back
speed
to,
limit is 60
next,
kilometres per
Sunday night,
hour.
yeah, they're all
Box
gonna
in
have a look at this.
for
So pit lane's about to
160
get bloody busy.
metres.
The 14th of December, Josh Zudo, Greg Heaney and Liam Banks are going to be with you for the GSRC End of Season Awards.
Yeah, right.
And
Oh,
I'll get,
Richard's already in the entry there.
yeah, that is
Boxing
disastrous
75.
for Richard
Box
King.
in,
That takes
5,
him right out of contention.
4,
Not only is he pointing the
3,
wrong way in pit
2,
lane, but he's going to get pinged for a
1.
slowdown. And if he's not careful,
Box now.
they'll throw him out altogether. He'll get disqualified for being back.
Left front
in pit lane.
86%. Left rear
That's
92.
horrible. That's a horrible position to be stuck in as well. That's a horrible way to end any competitive chance you had in the race as well. Oh dear. Oh dear. The second thing that's going to happen, and everybody that's been in first time through, Jordan Malcolm 20.35, Ryan Jones 18.1, Sam Chapman 21.
Exit looks clear.
3.2. Was there contact? Yeaman and King?
I think there was.
Yeah, buddy, sorry.
Oh, that's
Whoa.
messy. Yeah, that's really messy, especially for Dan Yeaman. So that probably rubs him out of it as well. I mean, contact on pit road. That's a big no-no.
It looked like he went for the old pedal move, but didn't quite pull it off.
Exactly. And even though he didn't get a stop and hold there, Richard King, and he's out in 23 and a half, the problem is he's stuck because all the hard work he did earlier in the race has been brought undone, and he's rejoined in 18th position, down 7 on where he started. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, the other thing too, Jordan Malcolm, Ryan Jones, Rain, Sam Chapman, Craig Bond, Stephen Bull, that order is somewhat relatively unchanged. The only thing is that Stephen Bull has still got to complete his first stop. So he's done himself a mischief there, Matt Schmidt, because he's obviously been forced to start from pit lane, right? By way of regulations, if you and we see Stephen regularly on a Friday night, but he's not a regular in this series. So he started from pit lane. So therefore, he's already got an invoice because the field blitzes by the pit straight and the pit exit before he even gets released. then he's got to catch the field up, even though he saved a little bit of
Okay,
fuel based
Craig.
on everybody
Fuel
else.
window opens on lap 10 and
they're
it'll
running
close on lap
because they've
10.
done quarter of
We
a
didn't
lap
record
of,
any pit
warm-up.
timings. The fuel
They've
estimates
burnt
might
that
not be
fuel.
reliable.
He's able to go to lap 6. That's fine, but he's still got a second stop ahead. So he's going to transit the lane one more time and probably drop down the order anyway. Yeaman's going to drop down the order, no doubt, because race control will catch up with him after the pit stop entry debacle. There's a lot going on. Let me try and finish the point that I was making earlier. Yeah, Sunday, December 14th, 6 p.m. Eastern. Make note of that. That's Eastern Daylight Time. Can't emphasise that enough, especially this time of the year. 3 o'clock on the West Coast. Heaney, Banks, Zuno. GSRC Awards, they're also going to make the long-awaited announcement with regards to what the 2026 Term 1 schedule looks like and release the details regarding
The gap behind is now
what date the
1.7.
season will launch. As I said, my money's on January 19, but don't be surprised if it ends up being Australia Day. Either way, I'm disappointed because January 19 clashes with day 2 of the Australian Open and January 26 is a public holiday and I don't get public holiday rates here. But then, on the back end of that, 7:30 Eastern, Australian Open World Nationals, right? Car 985 of Dan Yeaman, 10-second penalty contact with Richard King on lap 5. 10-second penalty, Dan Yeaman. So that's not surprising either. It doesn't bump him back down in the direction of Richard King. In fact, King is still another. Oh God, he's just dropped out all completely. He's done. He's retired. So yeah, that doesn't do Dan Yeaman any favours, and it doesn't do justice to Richard King because he was already parked up and done. Can you believe that? The Australian Open World Nationals venue to be confirmed shortly. More details from Josh Zuno once we have them. But if you haven't already registered your interest and you're a competitor in our Friday night offering, the Indy NXT series, get in contact with him ASAP. We want as many bums on seats representing the GSRC as possible. We've already got one deflection this term that I'm aware of, and I'll have something to say about that next week because it'll be quite ironic if he ends his Australian Open World Nationals 2-2 on the one night that he deflects to a new team. And hello to him if he's tuning in. But the reality of it is we need some GSRC members that have been involved in that Friday night series to register their interest with Josh Zuno so that we can field a competitive lineup up against FDL and also SRW. And we're trying to retain the team's championship. We'd love to snare another driver's title in that event as well. That'll be the last port of call of business for the year. Sunday, December 14, 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time qualifying, of course.
Okay, Craig, you've got about 4 laps of fuel left.
And race start on that night will be 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Make a note of all of that. Play about to get back underway at the Gather. We're through the first round of pit stops here. We're 26 and 3/4 minutes in.
The front is now
Thursday night
2.9.
motorsport across Facebook and YouTube platforms. The Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. It's Thursday night motorsport. Night 4 of week 10 of term 4 of 2025, our last one of the year. And we've got a live Porsche Cup finale in the Elite Split coming up in an hour from now, which we're hugely excited about. Interesting race so far. Obviously, Stephen Bull still on pit road, out in 21.12 seconds. It drops him all the way back down to 22nd position. So all that hard work undone for Stephen Bull. Shane Beaumont 24th. Oh no, that's messy as well. That was messy. That was the rejoin from Damien Seeger. And James
The
Glasspool
gap
now
to
showing off the
Chapman
road
ahead
too.
is increasing. It's now 3.2
In
seconds.
fact, to the point that he's on the tow road but on pit road, so we're probably going to have our second retirement here. We'll need to have a look at this. Wayne Taylor on pit road now. He's gone to the end of lap 6. Or is that a second stop for him? No, that he had to come in at the end of the opening lap. So that's not ideal. He comes through. Remember, there were cars that sustained damage on that opening lap that had to come back in. So Wayne Taylor in pit lane, and that was the incident with James Glasspool. And it didn't look like that heavy an impact, but it was enough for him to say, you know what, I'll try again next year. Ooh. move. Sean Benucci being passed there on circuit at the moment. That's Reece Keane going up. He's outside. The two Mustangs are side by side. Malcolm's lead is 3.5. It's stabilised. It's been steady for much of the opening half hour here. In fact, we're 1 minute from halfway. We're on lap 7, so we're on target.
The
What I was
gap
saying
to
earlier in
Chapman
that
ahead
section.
is now 3.6.
Very much so. Look, this will be a 14-lap race. God, I love it when the mathematics work. Doesn't happen very often, that, but it's nice when it does. I don't listen to him having a chuck in the background, knowing that I'm taking the mickey, extracting a little bit of you know what out of that one. I think the medical term is urine, isn't it? Jordan Malcolm, Ryan Jones, and Sam Chapman. Pondy slotted into 4th spot. He's a bit lonely there, actually, in 4th at the moment. Can we chuck it on board with the guy from Gunda Guy? And go have a little bit of a steer with him through the last sector of the lap. Here we go. We're on board with you, Bondi. So if you muck it up, we're going to know, because we're riding with you through the Porsche curves at the moment. We're not going to ask him to talk. We want him to concentrate on the task at hand. At the moment, here's the good news for you, Bondi. Chapo's still got that 5-second penalty hovering over him. You're 1.5 seconds to the good at the moment. He's only got 3.5 on you. So if you can maintain that through what's left of this race, a podium is there for the taking. Over the ripple strips, round onto the main straight. Whoa, takes a lot of curve coming onto the main straight. Had it squirrely, twitched it a little bit, gets it onto the main straight.
That's half distance. We
Another lap.
estimate 3 laps remaining on this tank.
And we are into the 31st minute of play. Players resumed at the Gabba as well. Now, Joe Root on 69 at the moment. Coincidentally. The interesting thing about all of that is if you watch the podcast, all over bar the cricket, Matthew Hayden, Greg Blewett, James Brayshaw. Hayden has been very public about the fact that if Joe Root doesn't score 100 on Australian soil this summer, this is something he's never done, he'll run around the MCG.
The gap ahead is now 3.9 seconds.
And I'm not sure how that would go down, considering the legal issue that would present. But Haydos, more than anybody, will be praying that Root can get those next 31 runs in this session. I think we all will. Jordan Malcolm, Ryan Jones and Sam Chapman here. We're watching the battle for 9th, however, 7th in fact. It's Adam Lavis at the forefront of it. It's Paul Wood and Jeff Adams behind that. Dan Yeaman's only 3 seconds up the road. So at this point, Yeaman is dropping to at least 9th in the running order with that 10-second penalty that he has hovering over him.
The gap to base behind is now 4.2 seconds.
Penalty, and I'm just trying to remember who it's for in the opening lap. Another 5 seconds. And in fact, actually, Adam Lavis did me the courtesy of sending me the link to the race control Google Drive sheets for tonight. So if I can do that, I might just open that up now. And that way it'll give me a little bit more insight as to what's going on. Fourth of the 11th, well actually 4th of the 12th it should be, but that's okay. Justin Kahir was involved in the incident with Damien Seeger. So Seeger's got a 5-second penalty as well. So Seeger in 20th place has a 5-second penalty. He's only got or nearly 3 seconds on the next car, which is Stephen Wood. So he's likely to lose that position, and maybe even the one after that. Have a look at this. This is Jeff Adams in the thick of it at the moment. He's got Adam Lavis and he's got Paul Wood. He's got the 2 teammates there ganging up on him.
The gap to base behind is now 3.5.
Adams 9. So only 4 penalties have been handed out so far. It's been
E4.
good. Pretty well behaved, all and sundry. Yeaman's got 10 seconds, we know that. Seeger's not necessarily in contention, but where he is at the moment is the difference between a top 20 and outside top 20, because once that 5-second penalty is applied. He drops a few spots. Adam still can't get by Paul Wood, who has now been passed by Adam Lavis. Wayne Taylor, the only other one, but Taylor's been on pit lane twice already. It's not going to matter a rodents.
Okay, Craig, you've used half your fuel.
It won't matter a stuff. Because he's 28, actually he's a minute and 11 up the road from JD Dent. So at this stage, he is absolutely cemented in 25th position. He's not dropping from there. The only reason he would drop would be if he was to end up in pit later on the tow road or in an incident, or a multitude of incidents, and JD Dent would have to have a clean run all the way home. Brett Barker, speaking of clean runs, he hasn't had a great run tonight. He's +2 on where he started, but he's, of course, having already started or gone to pit lane on the opening lap. He's now sitting down in position 24, only up +2 on where he started. Biggest movers of the night include Steele, Guy Leach and Eduardo Zamora, 11 and 14 respectively. And Dan Yeaman, 19, but with that 10 seconds hovering over him, that becomes 16. He's still the biggest mover of the night. He is Dan Yeaman. I'm very excited.
Behind is now 3.2. Only 2 laps of fuel left.
Sam Strider's aptly nicknamed this year. I had a couple of those this week, bloody delicious. Woolworths are doing the pub chicken schnitzel in their deli now. 2 of those for $9 when they're on special, or $10.50 when they're not. Oh, they hit the spot. They're very nice. Oh, not on the same night, of course. I'm not that much of a guts. Here's Jeff Adams with a lunge note. Not yet. Interesting to have a look at the dynamic of this race. If you're not in a Porsche or a Ford, you're not in the top 13. 9 Mustangs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 9 Mustangs, including the race leader, including cars 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, 11th, and 12th. They're all in the top 13. The first of the BMWs is Eduardo Zamora, 14, and Dale Sharp in 16. The first of the McLarens is Guy Leach in 15. And beyond that, we only had 1 Aston Martin in the race, didn't we? It was Ash. Oh, sorry, we had 2. Richard King's already out, and Ash Stacey as well down the order in 20th position at the moment. Tim Warden, Will Ramsden on pit road now. Oh, it's a stretch for them if they're going to be able to make it 6 laps from there. 6 laps from there is a tough ask as far as this race is concerned. We suspect it's still running 14, but for those 2 guys, if they're going to make another 6 laps out of it, they're going to have to stretch the legs of the fuel tank as far as they possibly can. And now I can't remember the point of what I was going to use.
P5 is getting closer. The gap's now 2.2 seconds.
It's Jordan Malcolm, Ryan Jones, Sam Chapman, 1, 2, 3. Bondi sitting there in 4th. He's clear. Yeaman drops 3 spots. He's still got +16 to his name. Good to see that we've still got a few different battles playing out on the racetrack. Yeaman's got Dyson for company. Dyson's recovery has been good despite that early incident with Chapman. Chapman will drop, actually no, he won't drop a position at all at the moment. He's got 5.2 seconds on Bondi, so he's got 0.2 more than what he's required to have at this point. Yeah, I must admit, I don't know. I'm bloody excited about the cricket being on at the same time, being able to go around the ground and keep everybody updated. I love that part of what I do. But what I love more is the fact that very shortly, you and I are going to be jumping into the Porsche Cup Service from Interlagos. 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, live championship decider, don't miss it. That is going to be tantalising. Especially with a few of the guys there to throw their hat into the ring, as would be protagonists to get in the way of that championship fight between the Riot Sim Racing duo. And also, I reckon there's probably a threat of precipitation, is there not? Yes! Bring it on. Why not?
Yep, definitely going to be wet.
Malcolm, Ryan Jones, Sam Chapman, Craig Bond, Andrew Dyson, Dan Yeaman, Adam Lavis, Paul Wood, Adam White, top 10 here at the moment. Malcolm and Adams, the 2 in the top 10 at the top and tail thereof, and the only 2 in the field that haven't moved from where they started. They remain 1st and 10th. Adams has been up, but he's dropped down as well.
The gap to P5 behind is now 1.8 seconds.
So no wickets lost so far in this session. WBR going for 2, 2nd and 3rd outrider dev split tonight. Yes, they are indeed. Even though Paul Wilson has wrapped that one up, yes, those minor positional battles will be worth watching tonight. Plus
All right,
the fact
Greg,
we've got two
pit window
the
is
top 8
open.
invert for
We
the
expect
second
you'll be
race,
coming out of the pits into
12
clear
invert
air.
for the
When we
third
leave the
race,
pits, we
ladies
think
and
we'll be
gentlemen.
in P12.
But at least we're not fabricating it. At least it's not going to be an artificial, entertainment-provoked conclusion to the season like what we saw in Adelaide on Sunday. I'm sorry, but I'm still annoyed about that.
This is the last lap of fuel.
We have a points matrix and we stick to it. We don't just, we don't try and imitate AFL or NRL. We don't do finals in motorsport. That's the one line that they crossed, unfortunately, I think, Matt Schmidt, that really moves them out of the sporting sphere and into the entertainment sector. And by G, hasn't social media blown up in response to that?
Yeah, it's just, well, if they wanted attention, they've certainly got it.
And
I feel
for all
bad
the wrong
for-
reasons.
Yeah, I feel bad for Chaz Amber because Bob's season was just phenomenal. Broke the
100%.
pole position record, in race wins. He should have had it in the bag, but then Chaz, he is by word of the rule the winner, but there's going to be so many people saying it's not legitimate or stuff like that. I'm sure there'll be a lot.
There'll be an asterisk next to it for sure. I did have
It's reading
something
you
half
in.
written
The
about
gap's
it, and then
now
I just
1.1.
I don't want to get involved in the cesspit that is, you know, the supercars discussion online by G. It's a toxic bloody environment to tread into. And it's only the, like, I'm not going to say that it's everybody. It's probably 70% of the fans behave themselves, it's the 30% that ruin it for everybody. Normally people would say that number should be 5, 10 or 15, but think about it, it's supercars. And that's why the number's just a little bit higher. I mean, once it gets to the point where they've got to come out and say, we're defending our finals format, but we don't want your comments to get personal about it. Well, yeah, and that's the point. I think some people miss the mark with the target of their frustration. I think the target of their frustration should actually be the organisation running the show, more than anything else. And there are more ways to show your disgruntledness, ladies and gentlemen, than by just commenting about it on social media. Maybe just tune into something else. Maybe just stop throwing money at it. Maybe, you know, there's other ways to go about it than getting personal. Because let's be honest, I think there are far too many people that carry on the other day that think they have an invested interest in it, when the truth of the matter is they don't. It doesn't impact them in any way, shape or form, other than it makes them feel good that the driver they support wins. That's all it is. It's an ego sort of thing. And it shouldn't be, because at the end of the day, it does not impact their way of life.
Coming to the pits at the end of this lap.
Black
Box
10
this
here.
lap.
Jordan Malcolm, Sam Chapman, Craig Bond, Andrew Dyson, Dan Yeaman. We said we'd have to pad a little bit, didn't we? And we have done that. 4 for 203, the Ponds. And Ben Stokes on the 19 already. Joe Root on to 70. I'm watching that with interest. I'd love for Rudy to get 100. What did I'm pretty sure Shane Warren once described him as a dud one. And when in relation to scoring poorly in Australia. The late great Shane Warren. Here's Ryan Jones. Now, what's happened there is Jones is coming early. Jones has stopped on lap 9. He went one lap earlier than everybody else. And again, I'd love to get a bit more of a look. There's some Victorian pet shop or something I think he's advertising. Very good. At least the colour's right. At least he's got the right colour, Schmitty. That's a beautiful yellow, if ever I've seen it. He's just trying to get the attention away from the risky business end. Sean Benetti normally has all the yellow. In comes Jordan Malcolm, and the lap 10, critical number. And we're inside 17 minutes from home. So there goes there eliminates any discussion about whether or not this thing
What's your
goes
speed limit in the pits?
15 or 14 laps. It's 14 on the nose, ladies and gentlemen.
meters.
Tick off that number on your bingo card. That's where we're going. 4 laps from here. There will be probably a minute or so, maybe a minute and a half of overtime. Actually, no, it won't be quite a minute and a half. It'll be about a minute of overtime attached to that. Andrew Dyson goes on for lap 6 of this run. In comes Malcolm Chapman,
Box
Bond
in
Yeaman,
5.
Davis Wood. Adams,
4,
Adams and Keane.
3, 2,
And
One.
Benici as
Right
well.
here.
So this is the number
Box
in which
now.
everybody's wanted to hit. Ryan Jones goes through. Mosmoroz to pit lane.
Front
and,
left,
that's
74%.
going
Left rear,
through
84.
past a lot of them. Where does he come out in relation to Jordan Malcolm? Malcolm's out. Malcolm's done. Malcolm's gone. Goodbye. Have a look at the lead that Jordan Malcolm has on Ryan Jones. There's Jonesy top of shot. There we go. It is about 3.9 seconds.
takes
So
it's
it's
clear.
in Malcolm's favour. But Jonesy's got clear air in the battle for second. He's covered off Chapman by 2.2. Yeaman's got by Bond.
Okay, Craig. The
But
next
again,
car is Daniel,
Chapman
and their
has
rating
5
is
seconds coming his
4.5.
way. Yeaman has 10. So Bondi's still on for... Oh, well, actually, it depends on where Andrew Dyson comes out, quite frankly. But Bondi's still on for top 5, the way I'm looking at it. Unless Yeaman can put 4 seconds between himself and Bond in what's left of this car race. Come on, Bondi. Bring it home strong, son. Paul Wood. Not that I've got any, favouritism here in the central concrete position, because Yeaman's a colleague, so
Stay on it. This isn't
very
over yet.
neutral and
15
impartial,
minutes
but
left.
at the
That's
same
15
time,
minutes.
If you've got to work within the margins, then Bondi's got 6.5 seconds to
Gap
work
to
with at the moment.
Daniel ahead is
Yeaman's
increasing.
5.5
It's
down
now
the road from Chapman.
3.6
Chapman's not
seconds.
going to lose the spot at the moment. Chapman's going to remain 4th. It's whether or not Yeaman can build a 6-second deficit, an extra 6 seconds on top of what he's already got, to Bondi. Bondi needs to stay within 10 seconds of Yeaman. But it's a great drive nonetheless from Yeaman. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit of a blight, the pit lane incident, and it's just sad that that's how Richard King's night ended. But to go up 20 spots around here, tip the hat, well played. Barker out onto the racetrack from pit lane now as well. Now, some retirements to update you on. We mentioned James Glasspool. We didn't mention, I don't think, David Baz, or, of course, Tim Ward. And Ash Stacey is the latest retirement in this race as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 retirements. And that
Red and
is
yellow
Sean-
flag for debris.
No, that's Guy Leach. Guy Leach on the inside of Eduardo
The
Zamora.
gap to Daniel
Under
in
brakes?
front is
No.
now 3.8.
Bit too far back. Did anybody else notice too, by the way, and I screenshot it because I was so happy to hear it, the words, because they don't do daylight saving up here, were uttered by Steve Smith in his interview at the coin toss this afternoon. Just a cheeky jab from the Australian cricket captain, or the, fill-in Australian cricket captain, about this state being 112 years behind the rest of civilization. It's probably the best location for the day-night test, because at least when you do get out there for the night session, it is bloody dark. It's pitch black. That's about the only thing Queensland's got going for it in terms of... Oh, Guy Leach is gone. In terms of hosting the day-night test match. I mean, if you go to Perth, they're starting it at 6 o'clock. They're starting the night session at 6 o'clock Western time, 9 o'clock Eastern. There's still an hour and a quarter of daylight there, right? It's a twilight session. That's Leach. That's unfortunate. Same went for Hope, but like the evening session there was an hour of daylight before it was actual pitch black. And the Adelaide Oval's the same. So you've got all the right ingredients up here in Queensland, the early sunsets and that absence of twilight altogether. It just goes from light to dusk. Works in its favour to host the day-night test. So I'm glad that Cricket Australia is actually leveraging the 112-year
The gap in front is now 3.9.
in the 11th Sunshine State.
The leader, Tyson, is pitting.
I've often said that if they have a daytime test match up here, they should start it at 8 a.m. local time, 9 a.m. Eastern, straight after the Today Show or sunrise. It would make perfect sense. Because then you're actually using the best of the daylight to play your cricket. Unlike a couple of years ago, they were trying to. Just last summer. I know whether they were in the test match, but they were actually flirting with danger as regards to the Indian test match up here, because they were starting it at 10:20 local time, 11:20 Eastern, and it was pushing play to a point where they could have played to a point, but they would have got stopped for bad light. In the event of weather delays and play and push back and everything else. So it would have been
need to slow down a bit if you don't want a penalty. P6.
Sunsets here in Queensland. And because it's not a pink ball test, they would have had
You'll need to slow down if you don't want a penalty.
Lights are a factor, so that's not an excuse to go off. But it's certainly is in Red Bull cricket. Here's Stephen Bull's pit lane 2, by the way. This is Sean Benici all over the back of Moz Moroz. So there are some active battles here. And I reckon these guys will go by, and Stephen Bull's going to drop down to 14th position. He won't go any lower than that, I wouldn't imagine. But if he does, it'll be to Eduardo Zamora and Dale Sharp. Let's just see how long this pit stop is. Let's see where... There they come into the main straight now. Sharpie and Zamora. Oh, actually, no, they're probably going to get by Stephen Bull as well. Yeah, they do. There they go. Straight up the outside. Goodbye, see you later. And Guy Leach will go with him too. Leach has caught back onto Dale Sharp. And Damien Seeger goes by as well. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. I was just about to say that. He took guys and I was just looking at the time. And yep, 30 seconds compared to 15 or 20 seconds.
And because he's done that, he's even had enough time to comment on his own race in the YouTube comments. Oh, that might just be the pit stop movement of the year, or moment of the year from Stephen Bull.
10 minutes remaining, 10 minutes. Okay, great. Come on, stay focused. Apexes and exits, apexes and exits.
Had great pace, but has now done himself a mischief and has dropped outside the top 15. Well and truly, he's now 10 seconds away from Justin Kahir and Damien Seeger from the 35-second pit stop. It should never have been anywhere near that long. Oh dear. They're the little 1%ers, aren't they? They're the little 1%ers that can win and lose your car races. Here's Leach under pressure. And Sharp as well. Side by side we go. Last of the late breakers. Leach to the inside into 15. Ryan Jones is... Second has changed hands. Chapman has got by Jones. Chapman has got by Jones. Chapman is second. But again, he's got 5 seconds. So Jones is good for that for the moment. Look who's fourth. Look who's fourth. Andrew Dyson, the champion-elect. Wrapped it up last week, is out here just to dot the I's and cross the T's and have a fang around Le Mans. Unfortunately for him, it might not yet be a podium finish, but it will be if he can stay within 6 seconds, 5 seconds of Sam Chapman. Here comes Jonesy! Back to the inside on Chapman! Nearly a touch between the two. No love lost here. And Chapman holds in the bay for the moment. Jonesy puts 2 wheels in the sand. And all the meanwhile, they keep squabbling, Dyson will catch them. And Chapman will lose 2 spots, not 1.
They're showing the red-yellow flag.
So Chapman could be dropping back to 4th here, but he's done himself no harm whatsoever in trying to maximise his finishing position by grabbing that position away from Jones. Now, if they work together, but you can imagine that Jones is not going to do that. A, he wants second on his own terms. And B, he'd love to help his teammate do whatever he can to get back to 3rd outright. Which would be a remarkable recovery from the first turn spin, which ironically involves Sam Chapman. So there's no love lost here at all. Chapo, Jones and Dyson, and he's going to have 2 DPR cars for company the next couple of laps if he's not careful. Yeaman is 6.5 up on Bond. They've got 2 laps to go. Yeaman has got to put another 3 1/3 seconds. Let's call it 3.4 to keep Bond at bay, and Bond could end up 6th in all of this. Which from 3rd on the grid he won't be happy about, but slow down and other factors have compromised his run home. Not least the fact you've had, Dyson not qualifying as well as he normally would. You've had Yeaman starting from down the back. All those different factors. Have a look at this. Jones into the inside at the top of the hill.
The gap in front is now.
Chapman's going to keep him out there. Oh, he's gone! No, the outside, he's gone. Jonesy's done. Forget about that.
Dunlop chicane. We think it might be
Jones has thrown it off the road. Bondy's got another slowdown. Yeaman's going to come through and put pressure on Jonesy now. Oh, it's all gone to hell at Le Mans for Ryan Jones and DPR. Yeaman goes through as well. Jones gets him back. This isn't not a positional battle because Yeaman's got 10 seconds coming his way. He's now 6.6 up the road on Bond. If he can work with Jones, he might be able to stretch that out a little bit. But by gee, Bondy, you got to stop triggering slowdowns, mate. That's not helping you.
You've got about 2 laps of fuel.
You can, yeah, absolutely you can, but I wouldn't continue driving if you were going to do that. I would advise against it.
I've got some bad news if you wanted to stay within that 10. Oh, wow. That
The
was
car in front
close.
of us is now Jones, and their
There's
rating
almost a
is
monster
5.2.
between Jones and Yeaman down the Mulsanne. If you were ever going to see two cars implode in a straight line, that was the moment where it nearly happened, before your very eyes. Wowee! Sorry, Schmidt, you continue with your bad news, please.
You're right. I've been monitoring the average times, and he's averaged a bit over 2 seconds a lap quicker than Bondi, so with the couple laps he's got left, he will get very close to that 10 seconds he needs.
And they'll slow down for me. Just to make it good.
Oh, and they're still side by side. Yeaman around the outside. Jonesy's
Okay, Craig,
still
the
there.
next car is Daniel,
No
and their
holds
rating
barred at
is
the moment. These two are
4.5.
going to have at it. What the hell
Gap
was
to
that?
7th position. Behind is now 7.9.
Malcolm leads Chapman by 7.7, who's 2 seconds clear of Dyson. At this stage, that's the only position that's going to change hands, because that moment for Jones has cost him too much ground. Dyson will go to second, Chapman will go to third. That would seem
5
fitting
minutes to
and
go, 5 minutes
appropriate
left.
given
Nice and smooth.
that it
Don't
was
overdrive
them
the car.
that tangled on the opening lap. White flag in the air next time
surface
through. No
flag.
confusion there, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing this home at 14 laps. And the Poms are tonking the Aussies all around the Gabba at the moment. We've played 52 overs. They're 4 for 206. They're going along just nicely. 3.95 and over. Stokes 19, Root 73. Strike rates of 50 for the pair of them. There's Jonesy back down the inside. Yeaman to the outside. Yeaman around the outside. Oh boy! Full set mode from Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport. And still, they're tangling because Yeaman wasn't clean on the exit. Jonesy was on his outside. Jones goes through again. Cracking scrap between this pair. And it's not even for championship position or implications thereof. I mean, Jonesy's missed too many rounds. He went off and partied in Thailand and did a few other things and had a whirl of a time on the road with his motorsport commitments. He's sitting 15th in the championship. Yeaman, I don't think we've bloody well seen him all season on a Thursday night. So these guys are just out there for fun at the moment, for the sake of it, that it's the last week of the term, it's the last one of the year, and it is Le Mans. And any chance or any excuse to steer a car around there, why not? Now they're just going around lap traffic. Jones holds on. But the problem is, they've lost any opportunity of latching on and going with Chapman and Dyson. And Dyson, by the way, is only a second away from Chapman. He's really caught Chapo. White flag in the air one more time around at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Let's go. We're going to go 61 minutes here, folks. And it'll be a tight turnaround because the Porsches are on the grid at 9 Eastern Daylight Time. Qualifying for those guys will be underway very shortly. A few of these guys will be jumping straight out of this split, straight out of this event, straight into the new Porsche server and getting ready to go in the wet. Although if the rain sticks around like it did the other night, there might be a few people that just decide, nah, bugger that. And I wouldn't blame
The
them.
gap behind is now 6.5.
Saturday on Monday night. It was actually one of those nights where you're very glad you're in the commentary box, not out on the racetrack. Now, this is an active live battle. There've been a lot of, scraps throughout the course of the evening, but this one has feeling. These guys have been at each other's throat. They've banged doors and wheels. Now Yeaman. See, we were thinking Schmidtke, and we haven't been proven correct yet. We were thinking the power of the Mustang, the straight line speed of the Mustang would be too good for the Porsches, but by gee, the Porsches have kept them honest, particularly Chapman, particularly Jones. I know he's lost out at the moment, but he's still on the inside of the circuit, so he's still in the right position for the braking.
Yeah, you would expect the Mustang to just pull away on the straight, and they do have a little bit of an advantage there, but the Porsches will just get it back through the curvy section and the back
All
up
right,
to the
Craig,
track.
the next car is Jones,
Yeaman's
and their rating
consolidated
is
this time very
5.2.
nicely. That could be game over.
Yep, we'll have to see how the trail pans out for Jones here. He might not quite be close enough. No, I don't think he's close enough.
Keep your eyes on this though. Keep your eyes on this. My little mate from Gun to Guy is only 1.6 seconds ahead of Yeaman at the moment. So Yeaman's got to work with that 10-second invoice. He needs to clear out and try and cover off Bondi. Otherwise, it's going to be a loss of 2 spots. Chapo is only going to lose 1 unless Dyson gets him on the racetrack. You know, on equal terms, on legitimate racecraft, and he's just done that. So Dyson's just covered off Chapman and gone through to second. So Dyson is going to get second on merit, not just by default of that 5-second penalty for Chapo. Here's how it happened.
Red yellow flag, debris on the
Chapo's
track.
0.2 of a second away. But Malcolm, Dyson, and Chapman, Yeaman at this stage loses out 2 spots. The news is not good for Yeaman because he's got to try and find, what's that? 2.3 seconds now. So that margin's actually worked out better for Bondi. And that's Chapo firing it back down the inside of Andrew Dyson. They tangled at the start of the race, 1 at the end as well. They tangle for the second time tonight. Chapo feels, well, I've already got 5 seconds coming my way, so what have I got to lose? I'm not winning this battle on the racetrack anyway. Once the results come through, I will get an invoice, and I'm going to lose second on merit, but I may as well try and just get one up him on the racetrack, just for the sake of it.
Look, we've got this battle here and the one we're going.
It's tantalising, and Jones is still there with Yeaman as well. Watch these two to the Porsche curves. Whoa! Jones into the rear of Yeaman. Full send mode on the run to the start-finish line. Jordan Malcolm's been that good tonight that we haven't shown him on screen for 45 minutes. He just checked out at the start and hasn't looked back. He is 9.5 seconds to the good. Dyson gets by Chapman again. Yeaman's covered off Jones. Malcolm dominates at Le Mans. Wins at the circuit to Lassard from the Mustang. A brilliant performance to round out the campaign.
2 litres remaining.
Good to see him back on the grid as well. Second will go to Dyson. He wins it on the track. He was going to win it anyway, but it'll feel even sweeter that he's able to win it on the racetrack. Yeaman loses out to Jones. Jones chocolate across the line. Bondi's going to come through. Watch that margin. Watch that margin. Bondi Yeaman. He's got it.
6th
Yeaman
place.
will drop to 6. Bondi gets the
Nice
top 5. Lavis, Wood, Adams and Keane will make up the top 10. There's the 2 teammates with the photo form finish. Wowee. That got lively. A bit unexpectedly.
That's the end of the session.
Yeah, I think we were both sitting here expecting a bit of a snooze fest, but the boys turned it on, and that was actually a really good race to watch.
Well, when Bondi was talking about going to sleep, I was thinking about going and getting the pillow as well. But anyway, I'm glad I didn't. That was worth sticking around for. When you have a look at Jordan Malcolm, by the way, who we've only seen on a couple of occasions this season. Now, obviously, the caveat is, yes, that is his 3rd win of the season. He got is his 3rd or 4th. He got 1 at the Indianapolis Road Course. He got 1 at the Watkins Glen Boot. We haven't seen him in the last 2 weeks. It's his 3rd win of the season, but he's only going to get half points because he raced the Porsche the rest of the season. So he's not going to actually get the full complement of 90 points here, but he's going to enjoy it all the same. And I can't wait to hear what his thoughts on the Mustang are, given that he has been a Porsche tragic for a while and now he's a convert all of a sudden. Well done to Andrew Dyson. Great way to finish what's been a dominant season from him. I mean, finishes throughout the campaign. 2nd, 1st, 1st, 3rd, 1st, 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 2nd, 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 1st, 1st, 2nd. I did not mention a number off the podium in that entire spiel of 14 bloody races. That's how dominant he has been. That's how championships are won, ladies and gentlemen. Well played. And Bondi, if that was wet, I probably would have backed you in.
Yeah, that was boring.
Oh, well, I've got more boring news for you. That's a magnificent shot from Joe Root down the ground. Straight drive. Punches Scott Boland back down
Hey,
the
Johnny,
ground
you know it's
for
not
4
right when
and
it's
moves to
fast and
77.
You know that, right?
England 4 for 210. We've got Jordan Malcolm
The
jumping
leader's
on
just
in
done it.
to have a chat to us.
135.60.
And so dominant was he that it was lost on us until just then that he had converted. But what a way to convert as well, Jordan Malcolm. Good evening to you. you jump into the Mustang, having been a Porsche tragic for a while, and Porsche faithful, I might add, as well. And then all of a sudden, you go out and record a win that's nearly 10 seconds. Around here, in only 14 laps of racing, mate, we didn't see you on screen after about the first minute because you'd already checked out and everything was happening behind you. Well played. Great way to finish the season, even if it will only yield half points for you.
Pit lane speed limit is 80 kilometres per hour.
Championship contention anyway. I'm curious, though. Thoughts on that thing, the Mustang?
Yeah, the Mustang goes alright, eh? Bit different.
Pit exit looks clear.
Out of contention in the championship, or even top 3 for a matter of fact, so I thought I'd give the Mustang a whirl, have a bit of fun in that, and the old pony goes alright.
Indeed it does, buddy. Indeed it does. And so do you. I mean, 14 laps around Le Mans, always a tough slog. But to have a run as clean and faultless as that, you must be very happy to end the season on a high note like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty disappointed we couldn't do the whole season, but we did start the season off with a win and then end it where we started it. So we'll try and keep in touch and start the next season off the same way, hopefully.
You're probably expecting a little bit more of a fight than that, though.
136.90.
When Daiso and Chapo came together in the first corner, that kind of put any chance of Daiso coming to play to bed. He recovered nicely to second. Had it not been for that spin, he might have been able to give you a hurry up. We'll never know now.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you lose the draft, it's pretty hard to get it back unless you're working with someone. So I was pretty much out there pumping my own lap times around. But if the guys behind worked together and stayed in the draft, I reckon it would have been a much different race from that point onwards. Had some fuel-saving games going on, but for me, it was like pretty much a straight sprint, and down the long straight, I was struggling to keep concentration towards the end of the 14 laps since I did so much straight line, I can say.
How are you enjoying that little weaving battle you had there on the opening lap? I was uncertain as to whether it was a case of monkey see, monkey do, and you were just imitating Bondi and trying to shake him off, or whether it was a case of you were also trying to warm the tyres up.
Yeah, no, the GT4s with this new tyre model are very, very slippery on cold tyres, so just do anything to get any sort of temperature in them helps a long way. I'm not sure if it does anything, but it certainly that's just worth a try, I guess. So,
You need to watch the track limits.
To make sure you survive that cooler tyre temp laps before they come under pressure.
Indeed. All right, you mentioned the off-season. I mean, really, when it's a performance as clinical and as trouble-free as that, Jordan, there's not too much to really elaborate on. I do have to ask, though, as a small car rider from way back, why Hot Wheels over Matchbox, please?
Why not? I think Hot Wheels just has a little bit more variety these days, and love them. Hot Wheels, and I don't think there's a Matchbox livery out there, so Hot Wheels it is.
We'll have to get onto that. We'll have to fix that over the summer. Hey, I digress, of course, so I'm just trying to stretch this thing out a little bit because no one else has come to have a chat. The interesting thing, though, is someone asked me a couple of weeks ago, when are you going to start introducing your nephew to those sorts of things, the Matchbox and the Hot Wheels of the world? I didn't even...
B31.
He's not even one yet, so I didn't even entertain the idea of going down the old car aisle at, I think I was in Kmart recently, and Big W as well. I know there's other toy shops and all that sort of stuff too, but I dare say when I do, it will only be for a couple of top-ups, George, because my old collection, and there's crates full of them, at Mum and Dad, I've already warned the system. I'm just going to drop him off there when he turns about 3 or 4, when he's at a point where he can play with them without, hurting himself or anything like that. So that'll be good fun. But let me ask you this. 6 weeks
Front right,
is a long time in motor
ascent,
racing. It's a long
right
time
rear,
in sim racing.
98.
How are you feeling about, I've got some breaking news from the Gabba in just a moment too, but how are you feeling about the off-season and what that entails? Ryan Jones, 6 slowdowns, but yeah, what a track. Good on you, Jonesy. Well done.
Admin rights.
on the fourth place finish in the end there, mate. Yeaman's got a 10-second invoice coming his way. We'll get those results up on screen for everybody in just a moment. But what does the off-season look like for Jordan Malcolm, and what are you looking forward to most about Term 1 2026, which we're touting will get underway, we suggest will get underway probably, January 19.
Probably just hopping on when I can, do some official races to try and keep in touch. But down here in southwest Victoria, it is speedway season, so looking forward to going to all the dirt tracks in the area.
In a working capacity or strictly as a
Craig,
fan?
5 minutes to go.
Strictly
5
as a
minutes
fan
left.
this time.
Let me ask you this, because I'm one of those people, mate. I can't do it. I'm hopeless. As a commentator, I'm a very bad spectator. But as somebody else that's in the industry,
There's traffic
you work
approaching.
in the
Watch your
industry,
mirrors. Clear right.
do you enjoy, or how much do you enjoy that aspect of going, sitting amongst the punters and being able to enjoy a couple of cold ones?
Yeah, I enjoy it massively. Just watching the races playing out in front of you, you're coming up with your own strategies, and as if you're the one calling the shots out there. But it's good fun. Sitting back watching and watching some good colours unfold in front of your eyes.
You got it, break down on the right.
All right, mate. Some quick ones for you. Joe Root has just thrown Denny Stokes down the river. He's been run out. England are now 5 for 210. Stokes gone for 19 off 49. And Root there, 77 off 151. And Smith out there with him now, front and centre. Root about to face Scotty Boland. And a misfielder will maybe when you get a single. 5 for 211. The other question I have for you is next season. What's on the wish list? What's on the hit list as far as
Left side, clear
not
left.
only racing is concerned for you? I know you'd love to go around again in GT4, but what else? And how excited are you to go out and have a run around the new tracks that'll be with us by then, and obviously assess the new changes that'll come their way with the usual in-season updates that are coming our way in the next couple of days from iRacing?
Big circuit's coming, so looking forward to ripping into that when it launches. We'll be doing many laps around there.
Yellow flag, caution,
mega
B34.
track in person to attend, so it will be a lot of fun in sim, and I can go through turn 8 without killing myself. And only from the virtual car, so that should be a bit fun to practice. But apart from that,
Mind these track limits, please, Craig.
we'll take it as it comes. Not really anything on the wish list at the moment. I've pretty much got everything in the sim that I really want at the moment, so it's been good fun.
Indeed. Well done on a great year, mate. It's been great to catch up with you when you've been in the house. We know you've been busy juggling work commitments and travel and everything else. Oh, by the way, Smith's got to go. Second ball duck. Scotty Boland's cleaned him up, so Boland's got his first of the match. 1 for 44 and 6 for
Car
11. All of a
clear
sudden, my
right.
prediction for the Aussies to back for a little bit tonight is looking a lot better than what it was half an hour ago. Well done, Jordan. Great work. Great way to finish it off, mate. Third win of the season. You've done
That's 2 minutes
that
left. 2
damage
minutes.
in all the longer form races of this campaign. Good to catch up at the end of the night here, and we wish you well with the off season. And look forward to having you
Right
back.
side, clear right.
Excellent, thank you guys.
It's clean bowled too, by the way. A peach of delivery from Scotty Boland. Speaking of being clean bowled, Andrew Dyson's in the house. Nice recovery after turn 1. If he's there, of course. Have we got your Dyser? No, not at this stage. Okay. Matty Schmicky, right on cue. Right on cue. Right on cue. That's it. Matty Schmidt has queued up this replay. You've gone with the Christmas theme, of course you have. Continuing the run of different liveries, different weeks from you. But let's have a look at this incident, get your take on it. Nice recovery, I thought, though, mate, to get back and keep
right,
the podium run intact. 14 starts, 14
left,
podium finishes.
97.
Second again tonight. Didn't matter because you already had the championship wrapped up, but a good recovery despite how it started.
Yeah, I just want to have a bit of fun tonight, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think it looks like Sam's just released the brake to try and get to the inside, but obviously by the time he got to the corner, it was a little too quick there. So it happens. From time to time, pop them ones in the chin. But I don't know, man. I reckon, I've got to put that one up there with one of my best drivers. Probably up there with Watkins Glen when the car was completely staffed. and obviously there was the Indianapolis race as well, where I think I had 10 seconds. Both those races still finished second, so funnily enough, the races you don't win, you have the best races of your life, right? So
Yeah.
pretty good, pretty up there, I reckon.
You did well too to reinvent the wheel, change the strategy a little bit. Went a little bit longer than everybody else second time through. And then I couldn't help but appreciate the irony of the fact that even though Chapo had the 5-second invoice coming his way, you two finished that race pretty much nose to tail. He wanted to beat you on circuit, even though the invoice was coming his way, but you ended up earning that second on merit, mate. And quite rightly, instead of just having it inherited, you lead him across the line. That was probably one of the more pleasing aspects of the comeback, I would have thought, to go door to door with him right at the end, given that you two lock wheels at the start.
I don't know, man. I think it just goes to show we could have had a good race the whole time if it wasn't for a little echo at the start. Maybe with all the other guys too, but it's not to worry. One of those things, like I said.
Yeah, and I guess the other pleasing thing here is one thing I didn't actually analyse in all of that, because we're too busy just focusing on the door-to-door battles that were going on. Yeaman and Jonesy was another cracker. How they didn't come undone on the milestone, I'll never know. But 0.25 the margin between you two. And then I look at Jordan Malcolm, right?
Okay, Craig.
It was 10
We've
seconds
got
up the
11
road,
minutes to get the job done.
You were only 100th of a second away from him as far as best lap time was concerned. 4:13.752 for him, 4:13.764 for you. So again, it's a case of, even though you only qualified 8th, and you might be able to give us some intel into why that was the case in a moment as well. But you qualify 8th, you come through. Had you been able to get a clear run without that incident, there's no reason why you wouldn't have been able to potentially be closer to Jordan Malcolm at the end of the night as well.
Yeah, qualifying, I went out to a banker and so expect on the cold tire, and then I realised that the qualifying really a whole lot with all the bar and so I just went full set to that, and I did some pretty quick ones, but I got off track some jumps, so that's all it goes.
Qualifying, what happened there, please? 8th, that's unlikely.
Yeah, that's just what happened. Just getting off track there and slow down each lap. But man, did you see exiting that first chicane there? I don't know what happened there just in that replay. Man, I nearly survived another near-death experience right there, I'll tell you.
You did? Yep, absolutely. And by the way, just summing up that England run out beautifully, the cricket memes on Facebook, if you haven't already, folks, give them a like. Ben Stokes is morally not out, and Joe Root is morally out. Again, taking the you-know-what out of England's moral victory claims in the Ashes 2023. Dysel, I'll ask you the same question I asked Jordan Malcolm. I mean, obviously, great way to finish it off, the way in which you've strung together 14 finishes on the podium and the near-perfect campaign. How do you now go about resetting, refocusing, regrouping over the next 6 weeks? And what's on your hit list as far as GT4 is concerned in the new term? We won't have any new toys in the shed. All we'll have is obviously the opportunity to maybe vary up the race formats a little bit. Maybe the time slot's different. I don't know what's coming our way. But the only other variance, I guess, will be the shed book. What tracks would you like?
Track limits. This lap will be deleted.
And what tracks would you like not to see on the calendar?
I would like to see more tracks in the book, because that's where I was going to revisit tracks like North America, Road Atlanta, and all those real common tracks, Sebring, Bathurst, They come up so often. I'd love to race some different stuff. And one of the different tracks that I really like, that's really underrated, and really got so many people call that. And that track just got a record too, so it's perfect for the very well. But there's a road course at Miami, Homestead Miami, and I reckon it's such a cool little track. I'd love to do stuff like that. I'd love to do different tracks like that. Obviously, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. It's cool in that it's something different, but it's also...
The leader's just done at 136.21.
To roll up a little excited about it. So, I don't know, that's one of those things that way up. It's probably a good reason why they're racing the same tracks. Not the same tracks, but fine. A lot of tracks tend to come up pretty often.
The leader has just done a 135.79.
It becomes harder to reel these guys in and say, let's go racing, if the playground or the environment is foreign to them. You must have also been happy, Dysel, after the deluge that hit the Circuit de la Sarthe on Monday night, that race just now was going by.
I wouldn't mind if you wore that, actually. That would look like I had a lot of fun out there. Not all of, obviously, but just like, I reckon it was a fun thing, you know. I mean, let's be honest, more often than not, it should be right. The race should be very good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I will get to some points of interest with regards to our Porsche field in just a few moments' time, ladies and gentlemen. 1M Dench is in the house, but I'm yet to spot 1K Lazarus. So we've got one bit of GSRC Porsche royalty definitely in the house, and the other, I dare say, watching on from the sidelines. Hey, congratulations to you guys. So great season, mate. Well done. 3 championships. It's been a long while since anyone's got even close to those sorts of numbers. 2 very common, with people like Matty Dench carving it up. But 3, you're in pretty good territory there. As I said, you've anointed yourself in DPR racing as must-watch on the platforms for GSRC, and with good reason, mate. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Fastest lap for Han, 1:35.62.
We really appreciate it, guys, for running these broadcasts. Spend all the hours during the week that you do. That's all the folks that you do. The club, and of course everyone, you know, part of the club, as well. So that's what makes it real.
Indeed it is. We're not even going to get a chance to really take a break here, folks, because the Porsches are on track for qualifying. Those pictures will be coming in just a moment. So all the best for the Christmas and New Year, mate. Go well. We can't wait to see you back on track. Trying to defend a couple of those championships, no doubt. Specifically GT4, whether we have Trans Am and the Toyota 86 going around again in Turn 1 remains to be seen. But you're defending champion in GT4. We look forward to seeing you try to defend that title when the new season gets underway. But enjoy the 6-week break in the meantime, mate. Go well. There he is, Andrew Dyson. Bondi's going to stick around because he's in the Porsche field. We're going to stick around as well. We're going to take a quick break. Pictures as soon as they come in will be on screen. Commentary will resume closer to the end of the qualifying session. These are the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook and YouTube. This is Thursday Night Motorsport for the final time in 2025. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. 3 magnificent races ahead of us for the Porsches from the Interlagos circuit in Brazil. The championship fight, fascinating. The elite split, go down to the wire. This one, the right sim racing duo of Hayden Smith and Ben Patterson. And what can Denchi do, throwing his hat into the ring for the first time in a long while, and far too long, on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club in the Porsche Cup. A break and back. Great to have you
That's a
company.
new
We're here
fastest
with
lap
thanks
for
to Disruptive
Han,
Labs,
1:35.62.
Sprite Insider, merch.tgsrci.com, and Flash Graphics. And England at 6,215. A lot going on a busy Thursday night. Hope you're enjoying it. Stay with us.
And I actually responded to you at the end. I pressed the wrong button.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, I thought that went incredibly quiet there, Dyson.
I did that. I meant to say, yeah, thanks, mate. I was saying that business, but I pressed the wrong button. Then you started talking, I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know as well.
Oh dear, all is well. I didn't thought you were going silent so I could try to break, but I appreciate your clarity. Oh dear, excellent stuff, mate. Well done. Oh Christ, I hope we can bowl the Poms out tonight. Have a few overs with the bat, only because a mate of mine had the pride to ask me for my tips so that he could submit them based on my cricket knowledge and whatever else into a betting ring that he's part of. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, I'm not gambling with your money.
Yeah, I'm not much of a gambler, but I'm always in the pubs. It's like doing the teams.
Yeah,
And he's watching it. He was like, oh my God, this song got run out. It's so funny, man.
yeah.
So
Yep, and it was good because Stokesy was the one that got run out, and he was the one that if he got his eye in, we were probably in a little bit of trouble. So they're on the cusp of getting into the tail now, so I'm really happy. We've got about 3.5 minutes here. So you've got Ryan's having a run. Oh, very good.
P15.
Who else?
I wouldn't say pretty keen, but he's going to go alone.
We've got 41, 2, 3, 4, 5, 46. Although I think Bloody Arnott's in race control. I think Arnott's in race control. Everybody else is going to have one. Oh, that's perfect. No shortage of carnage for us to talk about tonight. This will be good. Already, Willie Blair's already out there on wets for Christ's sake. And Adam Haynes just on pole position.
boys. See you all bumps.
Thanks as always, mate.
Merry Christmas.
And you too. Go well. Someone want to tell, I think it's Glen Arnott, someone want to tell him that's actually the 4-wheel 12, not the 4-wheel 11. And his race control. I'll let you go. Jack's is off the mark. It took him 9 balls, but he's off the mark. Packhouse there at the Gabba, and by the time they get home, it'll be Friday morning because getting out of the Gabba's a fucking nightmare. Go. 3 points, Hayden Smith over Ben Pedersen. Now that was after a steward intervention, I believe, Adam Lavis.
Yeah.
So,
Because I believe at the end of last week it was a dead heat.
Bad luck, Craig.
Yeah.
Take your time. Start it back up and get back in the race.
it was reading 4:18 apiece, but because there's been a couple of issues, arise and reviewed and whatever else. But yeah, shit happens. Oh, Stokesy and Rudy not very happy with themselves. That's good. Dog it. A swing and a miss. So this race will finish just as plays finishing for the day at the Gabba. That's exciting. So don't worry, Bondi. We'll be going around the grounds all night. It'll be great. And I think there's even an NBL game on as well, just frankly. So let's tick both boxes, shall we? Whenever you're ready, Schmitty, too, by the way, because they're 45 seconds away from gridding up.
Yep.
Yeah, just tell me when.
Alright, here we go.
These are the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and this is Thursday Night Motorsport. We move from Disruptive Labs GT4 to Pantech Industries Porsche Cup. We move from the Circuit de la South, Le Mans in the south of France, to the Interlagos Circuit in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We now await a super sprint round of Porsche racing. 3 for the price of 1 tonight. 2 inverts contained within that to bring the curtain down on what has been a memorable season of Porsche Cup racing. No time to muck around here because the car's going to be on the grid imminently. Let's have a look at the state of play as far as the points are concerned. There's been a little bit of an adjustment week on week. It's now a 3-point advantage to Hayden Smith over Ben Pedersen. That's got to do with post-race reviews and stewards' inquiries and all that sort of stuff that has been tidied up over the course of the last couple of weeks. It's only 3 points. It could make all the difference at the end of the night, but it's still a case of whoever wins tonight probably wins the lot, unless it's only a 2-point round win to Benny Pedersen, of course. So he needs to win the round by 4 on Hayden Smith. Hayden Smith needs to win the round to get the job done. Sam Muir is in 3rd place. Adam Hayne, Luke Page, Simon Massimo, Rodney Golan, Alan Dawson, Jared Knight, and Craig Bond make up the top 10. Bondi a chance of moving up the order tonight. The open split, of course, already decided, but the battle is on for second. Greg Heaney, 372, has a little bit to play with over Dale Atkins, Stephen Gallagher. Only 7 points the margin there, and another 6 back to Jason Wilkinson. Don't rule out Tristan Kosh either on 315 points. So what's that? 23 covering 4 drivers. The battle for the final spot on the podium. Everything to play for tonight. Adam Hayne, Hayden Smith front row, Kyle Ardley, Marcus Watson second row, Luke Page, Ben Pedersen 3rd row, Ryan Jones, Pat Klein 4th row, Sam Chapman, Alan Dawson from 5, Nick Wood, Oscar Haynes from 6, Eli Donaldson, Rodney Golan from 17, Reddit and Simon Mesimo from 8, David Hayne, Marcus Cook from 9, Adam Lavis and Craig Bond from 10. What is it about those two? They seem to find each other on the racetrack far too frequently of late. Connor Nixon, Stephen Lawrence from 11, Reg Burke, Dale Atkins from 12, Jason Wilkinson, John Akers from 13, Brett Bradbury, Greg Heady from 14, Tristan McLaren and Paul Wood from 15. Aidan Sykes back on the grid, good to see. Barry Punter alongside him on 16, Tristan Kosh, Paul Wilson on 17, Colin Bennett, Cameron Dakin at 18, Edward Rollo and Eduardo Zamora 19. I knew that was going to happen. Aaron Smith, Willie Blair 20. Matty Dench, Dan Yeaman, Eric Fenton, Chuk Fong Wong and JD Dent make up this enormous 45-car field for the first 3 races tonight from the Interlagos
Okay, Greg,
circuit.
we'll be in the mid-pack here. We're expecting you to finish in position 20.
All in split tonight, Michael Heaney. So the boys are here, pro and open. Elite and
Get ready.
open. We're ready to rock and roll. Can we have a look at the weather conditions, please, Matty Schmidtke, just on the right-hand side there?
Standing start now.
December 3, 2025, 11:02 local service time, 14 km/h, winds easterly direction, let's go. 27 degrees the ambient, 41 on track and very lightly wet. Very lightly wet, so make note of that. There could be a little bit of water that trips these guys up and around parts of the circuit. Often racing.
Clear right.
Great start off the line. Beautiful conversion from Hayden Smith, who leads to the first corner. Ty Hardley and Marcus Watson are side by side.
Right side's clear.
Slides back in the fifth spot. Advantage Hayden Smith in the early stages. But right sim racing. And watch them just veer left of that far right part of the circuit where there is a little bit of standing water. Watch for potential incidents. You're in that top 5, you're in that
left
top
side.
2 of the championship, and you're right sim racing, you cannot afford to trip up anywhere tonight. Look at them, try to avoid Benny Patterson, the first one. To head wide. Try to avoid the puddles of water. Around this circuit, there's one planted right in the middle of the racetrack. Around turn 5 on the run up towards turn 6.
Okay,
Smith,
Greg.
Hayne,
Got out of
Watson,
track
Hardley,
limits. Keep
Patterson to
between the
fall from
lines.
the inside. Page, Chapman, then Klein, then Jones, then Dawson, then Haynes. In the early stages,
Car 273.
Hardley putting the pressure on the championship protagonist.
Car left.
Tough going ahead for Patterson tonight. Because the top 2 have already bolted clear, 2 seconds to the good.
Hold your line.
Smith, Hayne, Watson, then Patterson, Hardley. Page, Chapman, Jones.
Clear
The
left.
open split being led by Jason Wilkinson over Dale Atkins. Paul Wood, Tristan McLaren, Paul Wilson. The top 5 in that split at the moment. Trenchy's already up 9 spots. Now remember this, right? He only had to start rear of grid in the first race. He was able to go out there and practice. He didn't qualify because as per regulations,
20th place.
he would have been put to the back of the grid anyway. So to avoid a pit lane start,
Slippery surface
he
flag. Be
started
careful.
right at the back of the grid. He's gone to 31st already, got by Brett Bradbury. He's up 10 spots on where he started. We've got 44, 45 out there at the moment on the racetrack. Brett Bradbury's off the road. So too JD Denton, Aaron Smith. Yep, couple of cars going bush at turn 1. If Denchi, and this is what I'm excited about, Matt Schmidtke, if Denchi can get to 12th by the end of race 2, invert pole race 3, goodbye, race over.
Yep, that would be what I would expect if he does get there though. Denchi is up 10, Yeaman 18 already, so he is also flying out there.
Car 09, fixing room on the 131 on the opening lap. That's Jason Wilkinson topping an invoice there. So that would effectively move Dale Atkins to the lead of the open split. That penalty that he's copped. And that's the thing, if you're not in the battle, oh, trouble. One of the right cars has gone round. That's going to cause a little bit of a traffic jam there. But the problem is, if you're an elite split competitor trying to get by an open split competitor, etc., you don't want to get caught up in skirmishes that aren't with competitors in your class. If it's a competitor in a different class, you don't want a part of it. Barry Punter, 45th position at the moment, down 13 on where he started. Aiden Sykes has lost out 11, so too Greg Heaney. So Brett Bradbury's down 10 spots. Have a look at this. Have a look at this. Forceful. Page and Hardley. Hardley's had to pull it up.
Car right side's clear.
Remember, he was very vocal last week, wasn't he?
There's an incident in centre S. Looks like it's Maverick.
The new traction controlled ABS. Oh, Adam Lavis is around. Brakes that are on the way to the Porsche 9922 when it launches next week here on the iRacing platform. There's Paul Wilson up around the outside. Under pressure here. Getting through past him now is Matty Dench. Denchi's up 14 spots already. That's Denchi, the plain yellow car that you can see there. It's the student driver at livery that we saw him debut in GT3 the other night. And by gee, it was bloody good to see him back in GT3 the other night, despite the fact that he got a stop and hold on pit lane. England are 6 for 227 after 60 overs, by the way, folks. There's only an hour and 24 left in the day's play. So maybe, oh God, 18 overs if they're lucky.
There's an incident in Pico de Prato. Looks like it's Metsumo. Yellow flag.
Probably only 18 overs still to come. 12 an hour, essentially. Ben Pedersen, fastest up
On your right,
They
clear right.
matter tonight. There are 3 clean races available. There are 3
On your right.
most positions gained bonuses available. There are 3 fastest lap bonuses available.
Clear
And
right.
of course, it's a super sprint round. The feature race comes with double points as well. So a lot on the line tonight.
Car right.
A lot to play for. High Ardley in the thick of it with
Right side's
Brian
clear.
Jones,
On your
Alan
left.
Dawson,
Clear
Pat
left.
Klein at the moment.
15th plate. Car left.
Marcus Watson,
Clear left.
136, 117 for Watson. Oh no, Bondi.
On your left. Clear left.
Bonnie and Wood have come together and they've dropped down outside the top.
Left side. Left side. Clear left.
I'll let him explain what the hell happened there in just a few moments. In the meantime, he's going to have to get back on with the task at hand. He's slipped in behind Matty Dench now. So the C's are just parking.
Car clear left. Car left.
Up 17 spots
Clear
in
left.
4 laps.
Car left.
3.5 laps. That is mad.
Incident in Laranginia.
Oh,
Looks like
geez,
Klein.
look at the puddles.
Yellow
Wreaking
flag.
havoc
Keep
here.
your wits about you, mate.
This is awesome.
Still
Absolutely
there.
awesome. From Dench right now.
Clear left.
Leading his way through, carving up. Capitalising on the misfortune of others and
Right,
mistakes
clear
that
right.
made around him. But just generally inviting himself into any
Car
other
right.
manoeuvre that he sees fit to execute. Brilliant. There is Stephen Lawrence into 17th. Now at the front, Benny
Car
Pedersen's
right.
gone to 4th. He's
Right
right
side's
on the
clear.
back of Marcus Watson and Adam Hayne, and Hayden Smith leads this race. Smithy by half a second to Hayne. Watson is 3rd with the fastest lap of the race. Ben Pedersen has clear air. He's going out in pursuit of Watson.
Red yellow flag. There's debris out there.
Fastest lap of the race, Hayden Smith. Now Ben Pedersen responds to that, and by 0.3 of a second as well. Bloody hell. 135.552 for Ben Pedersen. You beauty.
There's an incident at centre S. You think it might be Dawson. Right side.
No good for that.
Clear right. B25.
No balls to be involved there at the Gabba, so that's no good to anybody. 6 for 231. And Root to 88 off 164. Joe Root is 12 away from 100. As I said earlier, nobody cheering that on more than Matty Hayden, the great Australian opener. And now 7 cricket commentator and also Triple M as well. So 135.552 for Ben Pedersen. Jesus,
Left side. There's an incident in
So
Laranginia.
watch for the
You think it
curves,
might
but
be
also
Metsumo.
it's really interesting, isn't it, Matt Schmidt?
Clear
The
left.
dynamic track to track. No
On
two
your right,
tracks,
clear
how they
right.
clear the water or where the water lands and stands are the same. We've seen it mid-track around here, not just on the
There's an
edges,
incident
not
in
just
Vinhirino.
in the ripple strips, but also middle, smack bang down the middle of the racetrack. So once you familiarise yourself with your surroundings and where all those potential hazards are and adjust your driving line accordingly, it should be smooth sailing, but I mean, you never know in this case.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see where the puddles land. It seems like most of the track is completely dry. There's just those mainly out of, I guess that's turn 4 or 5 there, the left-hand sweeper. Or it's not so much a sweeper, it's kind of
Clear right.
The corner they'll be at now, I think that's turn 4. On the exit there, there's quite a few puddles, and a couple of other spots there's a few little ones, but mostly here is, I think, the biggest problem for puddles.
Yeah, that's turn 4 there. Turn 3 is the top of that straight. Turn 4 is where they're just
Come on, man. Defend harder.
Puddle there.
And now the run up to 6. That puddle there on the run up to 6, yeah, you're right. That is the problem. And it's on the ripple strip. It's both sides of the road. There's part on the left, part on the right. And Jax has gone to 13, 6 for 235 England. So, again, us on one screen, cricket on the other. Sports bar set up in play tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Same tomorrow night when we bring you the Indy NXT finale from the Brickyard. That is a 95-minute race too, so a big way to finish what's been a fascinating season of Indy NXT racing. Let's hope that their race can be as equally as entertaining and fascinating as what
They're showing the slippery
round
surface
last
flag.
week from Marvel Motorsport Park in Birmingham, Alabama was. That was an absolute cracker. 9.5 minutes gone here. Remember, it's only a 16-minute race, so you're not getting much change out of 10 laps in this one. Off goes Alan Dawson. Off goes Alan Dawson. Dan Yeaman up 29 spots. Look who's on screen there in 19th. Look who's there, 22 spots going for Denchi. And Yeaman's in 12th, up 30. It's an invert top 8. What's Yeaman got to do? He's 8 seconds down the road from Kayali. A lot would have to go wrong for him to get an invert pole from there, but by gee, that's brilliant from Yeaman. Equally as impressive from Denchi, the fact that he's going to be firmly in the mix for an invert in the next race. He's going to be starting inside the top 20. Here's Connor Nixon, elbows out, side by side with Marcus Cook, and through on the inside, and Stefan Lawrence takes a piece of that as well. Wide went Paddy Klein, but he gathered it up nicely. What the hell? I just wanted to open up our calendar schedule here, folks. Whoa, it's got a little bit squirrely there. Stefan Lawrence loses out to Pat Klein.
The stewards have warned us for cutting the track.
And
Keep
Nixon
it between
hits
the
the
white
train
lines.
in 14th. Now, schedule for tonight, and I just want to clarify this for the benefit of everybody at home, says 10 laps for race 1. Which I think that works. 135
till 10, so yes, it
Fixed
will
at
be
10.
my break.
Yep. I think there will be a smidgen of overtime attached to that. Because we've been going that 1 minute 35, 1 minute 36 bracket. And we of course have the standing start. So it'll be either smack bang on 16 or a couple of
Incident
seconds
in Drunk
past
Cow.
that.
It looks
because
like hard.
obviously 10 by 90.
There's an incident in
is
turn
900,
13. It looks like it's
divided
wood.
by 60 is 1.5, so you've got essentially 15 minutes there for 10 laps for 90 seconds, and then that overtime will bump it up to, yeah, it'll just go beyond the 16-minute marker I would envisage at this point. Maybe we'll sneak it in under.
P19.
You're in the top 20.
4 minutes left in that at the moment. 2.5 laps, so maybe they'll sneak it in. Maybe they'll actually breeze it in. Although at 1 minute 35, 2 is 3.
Pay attention to track limits, please, Craig.
10. Yeah, it's the 5 seconds here and the 5 seconds there that'll bump it over to potentially just after that 16-minute threshold. But that's all good, because at least we're going to get our value for money out of that. Stephen Lawrence up on the inside, gets by Pat Klein. Matty Dench has reached this battle pack now as well. Hello, Dench, he says. Hello, boys. Good to be back. Let me through. And I wouldn't put it past him to be past all 3 of these men before this race is done. I don't think he'll get to Connor Nixon. I reckon he'll gobble these 3 up. 2 laps to go at the line. And yes, now that they're crossing the line, 12:56 when Hayden Smith crossed the line. So at 1 minute 35 a lap, that's about 5 seconds over. That's it. 5 seconds. So timed almost perfectly by Adam Laters. Now, I know all the focus has been on the cricket tonight, but I feel obliged to let our basketball friends know that the Illawarra Hawks are up against the South East Melbourne Phoenix tonight.
7.85.
And it's 8-4 apiece in that game at the moment. Joe Root is 1 away from his highest score in Australia, 89, 88, 87. He's 88 not out at the moment. 1 more run gets him equal his highest score in Australia. He's not able to get there yet. We're on Root watch. Net code for the 629 racing room, contact with the 67 on lap 3. Race control, letting us know everything that's going on at their end at this point. Tricks are being taken at the Gabba 6235. Australia may not get back tonight. Paddy Klein, 17th.
Just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go.
Hayden Smith has got Adam Hayne for company. Could Adam Hayne throw a spanner in the works here for Hayden Smith and put an advantage in Benny Pedersen's pocket by getting by Hayden Smith on the final run of the line? I don't think so. Hayden Smith's
We'll
out
be
of
warned
there
about track
cleanly.
limits.
And Smith's got 1 lap to go. At the line. Can Hayne muster anything up in that final lap to get to wedge himself into the mix here as far as round runners are concerned, to try and put a spanner in the works of Hayden Smith's plan for the night, which is to stay out of trouble and bank as many points as possible and consolidate that 3-point lead over Danny Patterson and keep him at bay. At the moment, he's got 2 cars between him. He's got Adam Hayne, he's got Marcus Watson. So at the moment, it's advantage Smith. But we've seen this before, haven't we, Matt Schmidt? You and I were both here the night that he lost that championship at Sandown with that late race contact with a non-championship contender. I think it was Simon Mesmo from memory at the Sandown circuit. He would be hoping to avoid a repeat of that tonight, but this is Interlagos and it's one of those circuits that can easily trip you up, especially if we're going to get more rain.
Smith took the win.
In the forecast, despite the fact that the track is potentially bone dry at the moment, they're very close enough to it. The reality of the matter is, we've still got 2 races to come. There's 7 hours left in the day. There's a very good chance that there's more rain on the way for, if not the consolation race, certainly the feature. And those puddles aren't disappearing in a hurry.
Left side.
Hayne with the send, no.
Clear left. Stay between the lines. Please brake. 2 litres left.
Under the line, the final lap, the final
Come on,
time,
don't
the
let him
final
get away.
chance. Can Hayne grab another sprint race winner? Is Hayden Smith going to put one hand on the championship here and now? Last sequence of corners. Checkered flag coming up this time by Hayden Smith out of there cleanly, just as he was last time
Keep
through.
it within the track limits.
Sim Racing, they're going to go 1 and 2 in this championship either way tonight, but Hayden Smith chalks up first blood. He strikes the first blow. He grabs the win in race 1 at the Interlagos circuit. Well done. Point 2 back to Hayne. Patterson a late dive, but it was to no avail as Marcus Watson holds under third. Chapman, Page, Ardley, then Jones. Donaldson's going to come through ahead of Haynes. Jones gets the invert pole. Yeaman got back to
1 litre
11.
remaining.
Dawson, Reddit, Nixon, and Cookie and Dench are going to come through. Next into shot. Cookie held off Dench. Dench finishes 16th. Well played, Marcus Cook, to hold off the hard charging Matt
Okay,
Dench.
it's over. Good
Yeaman
drive.
plus 31, Dench plus 25. They're in the mix. Not necessarily for the next race, but definitely for the third. Yeaman 3 positions away from the invert in that race. But Dench has only got to grab 4 spots in this next one. Matt Schmidt here to be part of the invert for race 3.
Yep, and I am sure he will get there unless he runs into some trouble at the start. With this many cars, it is possible, but he is an excellent driver, so I'm sure he can dodge and weave his way through and get into that invert position quite easily.
Bondi started 20th and finished 20th, but it wasn't as straightforward as that. What happened, Bondi?
No comment.
Copy. 6 for 235, the Poms at the drinks break. 62 overs bowled at the Gabba so far on the first day of
That's the end of the session.
the second test. And here was the incident in question. Bondi trying to get through on the inside of Nick Wood and just lost all control. Sliding through, twitching it on the exit and just had no hope of pulling it up. So, 4 more as well for Jax. So route remains 88, Jax to 17. Hayden Smith by 0.2 of a second. Hayne, Watson, Patterson, Chapman, Page, Ardley, Jones. They're the invert. And all the positions fall in behind that, ladies and gentlemen. We're not even going to bother running through the grid because we've only got about half a minute to do it. But I tell you what, well done too. We said that Jason Wilkinson had a penalty hovering over him, so whether he holds onto the win or not remains to be seen because it depends on the margin that he had.
The track temp
there
is
at the
45
end of
Celsius.
race 1. We'll
The air
investigate
temp
that a
is
little bit
29.
later because we'll have a bit more, about 2 minutes more time to play with between the consolation and
Okay,
the feature,
Craig,
because
be ready.
that will
Watch
be
for the
warm-up.
lights.
And we wait to see what that brings. Set for start, race 2.
Okay, standing start.
No Eric Fencing, no Barry Punter, and Glenn Arnott's in race
Go.
control. Off, racing. Oh, squeezing up on the inside, look at that. Brilliant start
Car right.
from Hayden Smith.
Clear right.
From 8th up to 6th already.
Car left.
Page has gone to the lead, he's tussled and busted his way through.
Clear
Oh,
left.
in the shadows there goes Team Reddit. He rejoins, but he's going to be right at the back of the field. Have a look at the scramble down the back straight towards turn number 4.
Car
Patterson
right.
to the inside. Gets by Sam Chapman.
Right
And
side's
Chapman
clear.
gets him on the exit. And those puddles are still there. Bondi's just clean bowled through one.
Car right. Right
He's had
side's
a good
clear.
start, though, up 4 spots, the boy from Gunny Guy.
On your right. You're in the middle.
3. Hit
Clear
right
left.
back. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Can we just have a look at that again, please, match 52? 2
Clear all
o'clock in the
around.
afternoon, like the server
On
time.
your left.
Very lightly wet, so
Clear
that
left.
rain is actually coming on.
Incident
That rain is
in
coming
Urena.
on. Oh,
Looks like
trouble!
what's-
Big
Clear
trouble!
left.
Massive
Left side.
chance!
Clear left.
Huge!
You have damage.
Yeaman's involved. Nixon's
Clear
involved.
left. 3 wide.
I
You're on the
think
right.
Bondi's involved. Dawson's involved. Wowee.
You're in the middle. Clear right.
Holy smackerel. Yeaman's on the tow road. It was Yeaman, not Nixon. My apologies.
Car left.
Nixon's moved up to 8th as a result of all of that. Look who's 12th. Tenchi's done what he needed to do in the opening lap. And amongst all that chaos and
Still
carnage, Tenchi's done what he needed to do.
You're in the middle. 3 wide.
And Joe Ruger's just gone to 96, by the way. 2 4s on the trot. Joe Ruger's 96.
Clear all round. P18.
Yep, I think then she got a bit of control in the front and the back in that, but he is still going.
High Ardley leads this race. From Luke Page, Ryan Jones lost out of the invert. Trouble! Oh dear. One of these.
Marcus Cook.
Is that a Marcus Cook? It is. Well picked up. Well picked up. I wasn't sure if this was one
Car
of the
right.
HCS
There's
racing
an
entries
incident
or
in.
not.
Yes, it looks like
No, it's
on.
Cookie.
Clear
Going
right.
back on for Conley Fused. Questionable rejoin, but he got away with it. JD Dent, Dean Reddit, Dan Yeaman, all on pit road on the opening lap. Grant Arnott's in race control. Barry Punter and Eric Fenton non-starters, just trying to dot the I's across the T's there and account for the 46. Dean Reddit gets back out on the racetrack. Yeaman remains on the tow road. All that hard work undone, unfortunately for Yeaman. Tricky conditions because those puddles have re-emerged. The water doesn't clear very
Red
quickly.
yellow flag. Watch for debris on the
I
track.
must say. I'm not sure why. It just doesn't feel very very lightly wet. There is no pit stop requirement in this race either, folks. Just remember that. No pit stop requirement at all. Denchi's 2.4 seconds off Eli Donaldson. At this point, he's in 10th. Having got past Trip Fun Long and Stephen Lawrence as well. And there's a 10-second penalty for car 701. And that's JD Dent, but he's out of contention anyway, so it's not going to matter. Rats. Yeaman's got back out on the racetrack despite 100
All right,
seconds
Craig.
on pit lane.
Relax. Focus. Keep it
So all
smooth.
that hard work that
P15.
Damon did earlier is going to have to be done again in the feature. Have a look at it. Still puddles. I mean, either we've had another band of rain pass through, or the puddles haven't dispersed from earlier, or both.
There must have been a little bit more of a rain for the race, because that first race did get to mostly dry, and it's back to very lightly wet, so it must have rained a little bit between the races.
That was Chapman bowling it off the road as well. That's Pedersen on the inside of Jones. Pedersen on the inside of Jones. Smith goes through as well. Smith goes through with the price of
You
one.
think it might be Jones?
And Brian Jones is playing the wrong way at the top of the hill. Now, was that contact and was a championship contender implicated in that? That's what we don't know. Will it be a racing incident? Will Jones continue on? Jones has got back going, but he's dropped to 18th. Madness here at the Interlagos circuit. We knew it was going to be. Just add water, a full track of Porsches, and a championship being on the line, and this is what you get. Oh, okay, so car 440 reaches Barry Punter, pulled out with equipment failure. V8 drive day. Thank you, Barry, appreciate that. Page to the lead, gets by Ardley. Brenton Pedersen, Smith to the inside of his teammate. Pedersen to the inside, I should say. Pedersen goes to the inside and goes to the goes to the next
Yellow
turn.
flag. There's an incident in Centre S. Looks like it's
Jets goes
Dixon
through.
and Hayes.
Chapman goes through.
P14.
There'll be a slowdown for Chapo, no doubt about that. And Denchi goes up in a position number 6. Gets by Donaldson. Jones has got a slow down the serve as well. What the hell? Wow, wait, Denchi's 6. just let that sink in for a moment. He's 6th from the rear of the grid in race
All
1.
right.
My goodness,
Clear
what
right.
a comeback. What a way to arrive back on the scene. Grand final line at turn 4 of 2025. What a way to do it.
On your right side's
Meanwhile,
clear.
Joe Ruder's 96, 6 for 249, 63.5 overs gone there. There's another hour to come tonight at the Gamma. We'll keep you updated. Gone!
There's an incident in the arena.
Got into
Looks like
Mesimo.
Metsumo.
Golan and Mesimo come together. Golan keeps pushing on. Mesimo drops down the order, drops down to 24th. I'm not sure we can account for all the carnage that's played out so far.
Yeah, I want to go back and look at the
madness, mate.
incident from the start, but there's just so much happening. I don't know if we want to cut away or not.
Come on, bro.
Let's go have a look.
We've got plenty of
There's a
time
lot
to
of
do it.
stuff went happening.
Let's go have a look.
I'm hoping this
Try
will
and
be
make
the
sense
start
of
of
it.
it.
Left side. Clear
Let's
left.
go with 97. So that was John Akers. That was the first part of it. The second part of it happened a little bit further up the road. The second part of it's happening here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's already
it's got an
happened.
exit in the
Okay.
wall.
Thanks for the apology, bro. It's all good.
So Colin Nixon's the one you probably want to ride.
Yeaman it was.
Oh, yeah, right.
Watson, I think that was Watson just got in the oh, he's just been ping ponged all over the place. I think that was Watson got in the grass on the right hand side and then snapped to the left into the cars next to him.
Always going to happen when you're that, congested on the racetrack and you're in the middle of it and you're a sitting duck and people have got next to no reaction time. So well done, Marcus Watson.
Keep it
right
tidy,
with him,
please, Craig.
for his take of it. Oh yeah, he was instigated at the start of it.
He got a bump from that Vermilion. I thought he went off himself, but no, he got a bump from that Vermilion car. I'm not sure who that was.
No. Johnson or Chapman, was it maybe?
Yeah, well, they're actually both there. I think he was between them.
Yeah, that'd be right. It makes the job of identifying them all the more difficult. I never got to go back and cover off either, by the way. The GSRC schedule for tonight, 10 laps, 13 laps, and 23 laps. That's the scheduled distance for tonight. 10, 13, and 23. Invert top 12 for that final race. There's Hayden Smith. Now, more to the point, what happened in the incident with Ryan Jones? Who was involved in that? Was it Smith or Patterson or was it both? Let's have a look at that if we can. Colin Nixon's been really good at the night. Gets by Stephen Lawrence. So Ryan Jones, so that's the second incident for Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, because he was involved in the first one. And his night's just gone from bad to worse. Jones,
You gotta be kidding, man. What else could I do?
position and goes to pit lane. So, I think there is contact on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Ben Pedersen. So look, can we go on board with Pedersen? Because there's there it is, 10-second penalty. 10-second penalty for that. Freddie Pedersen's being slugged with an invoice for racing room on Ryan Jones. You would hate to think that that's the championship defining moment, but you get the feeling it is. At this stage, if things stay as they are, he's dropping to 10th. Once the positions, the race finishing order is corrected after the fact, he's dropping to 10th. And it's a disastrous moment for Ben Pedersen. Eli Donaldson about to pass by Denji. Royalty is in the house and he is 6th.
Done after the race.
He's up 10 spots. It's a phenomenal performance. From 16th, sorry, 41st to 16th.
There's an incident
16th to
in Centre
6th.
S. Looks like
3.5
it's Donut.
seconds to Chapman, and still 11 minutes to run. 7 laps to go. Page Ardley Smith, Brent Pedersen, Chapman, Dench, Donaldson.
P13.
The
On
car
your
off
right,
the road a
there's
little
an
bit
incident
further
in
back.
turn 2. You think it might be Donut. Clear right.
And here's the move on the inside. No, Pedersen not going for it. And the 10-second invoice will cool him. That could be all the luck in the world that Hayden Smith needs to wrap up this championship. Because remember, it doesn't get applied to the finishing result. So at the moment, those two are still starting side by side on row 5 for the invert top 12. They're third and fourth, which equates to
Clear
9th and
left.
10th. On the invert top 12. Pedersen will still start in that position despite the 10-second
Left
injury.
side.
It only gets applied to the finishing results after the fact. It'll be something that Adam Lavis does with his manoeuvring and
Still there.
matrix tweaking and adjusting at the end of the night. In fact, he admitted to me earlier, Matt Schmidtke, he's got an early start tomorrow morning. He might not be
Clear
crunching the
left.
numbers tonight. But we know the points matrix good enough to know that given the way things stand, oh wow. Jax has gone for 19 at 7 for 251. Stark's got 4, which continues his almighty Ashes series so far. And Starkey is another wicket away from a 5-putt. Root on 98 at the other end. Jack's gone for 19, 3 wickets left for England. An hour to go, and if we get to 20 past 10,
P12.
and England lose their last wicket, Australia don't bat tonight, right? But the umpires also have the discretion to continue play if England are 9 down at that point until they lose that wicket. So we could go beyond 10:30 as well. They're the implications in play at the moment for England. Hayden Smith has one hand on the championship at the moment because Betty Pedersen at this stage is dropping to 9th. Sorry, to 8th. To 8th on the leaderboard. So it's got a little bit better for him, Matt Schmidtke, in the sense that he and his teammate Hayden Smith have been able to push one another along here to extend that gap that they have over that would-be chasing pack. And by the way, Matty Schmidtke, can we just circle and highlight who's in 12th at the moment? There's your invert poll at the moment for the next race, ladies and gentlemen. Although I've got a feeling that Adam Lavis, Rodney Gollan, Oscar Haynes, Paul Wilson, Marcus Watson might all have something they want to say about that. But Bondi's holding the invert poll right now. Oh, wait. Ryan copped once what I copped 3 times in half a race. That calmed him down a bit. Yeah, absolutely. Unlucky for Ryan Jones being involved in that incident. And Jonesy unfortunately had to go to pit lane and hasn't come back out yet. He's 43rd at the moment. He's in good company because Adam Haney, we didn't see what happened to Haney, but he's in pit lane as well, has been for 2 minutes. And JD Dent's back in there as well, has been for a minute. Dan Yeaman has moved up to 40th from pit lane. Considering that he ended up on the tow rope at the end of the opening lap. So it's a very good recovery that awaits Dan Yeaman in race 3 if he can avoid incidents. Now 342, avoidable contact with 96 on lap 4, car 342. I'm going to try and identify it here. It's Colin Bennett. Colin Bennett picked up the 10-second voice as well. Wow, there's all sorts of drama unfolding here. All sorts. Page leads Ardley, Reed Smith. Smith is 3rd. He's broken clear of Pedersen. Pedersen, unfortunately, will drop to 7th at this stage. Smith's going to have a run for the win here very shortly. We picked up the battle for 20th. Alan Dawson there chasing Nick Wood, chasing Willie Blair, 18th and 19th, respectively ahead of him. There is Paul Wilson, there is Willie Blair.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
Ardley is 2nd, and under pressure from Hayden Smith. 1 minute 36.019. Smith has just got the fastest up the race again. Wow, wait. Oh dear. Excellent. Another sting in the tail for Ben Pedersen, but another
There's an incident in turn 2, it looks like.
Smith.
Lawrence.
And it's very important for him. He grabbed all the points he can. He's going to have a little bit of a buffer to play with going into the final round. Stephen
The
Lawrence
gap
around
to
the runway
Burke
at
in
turn
front is
2.
now 1.3.
Fung Wong in 9th place at the moment, chasing. Oh, actually, he's just getting passed by Red Burke. Red Burke down the inside. No further action on the 316 and the 954.
The guy ahead is Wong, B licence.
Page, Ardley, Smith, 136.019 for Smith, the fastest lap of the race. He's putting the pressure on Ardley. And all the meanwhile, Page is just holding station in second, in the lead, I should say, by a second, and looking for his second win of the season. On that note, it's like 10 of 13, and we're driving up the hill to end lap 10. 3 to go at the line. Good drive, Condi, so far, going well. Chasing Chook Fung Wong and Reg Burke for 10th and 9th respectively. We've got our eyes on Hayden Smith down the inside. Kai Ardley for second. Very nicely done. Beautifully so. Smith's drive back through the field continues, and still there's the chance that he will go 2 from 2 here in the early stages of round 10 of the championship. The 3 last races of the season, and that would put him on track to vie for a clean sweep. He would be starting in position number 12. I think he can do it from 8. And his strategy to his advantage in the final race with pit stops and whatever else, there's a strong chance he could do it. A clean sweep, what a way that would be to seal his first Pantech Industries Porsche Cup Championship. Joe Roots, finally a Centurion in Australia. There's the breaking news for the Gabba. Joe Root has flicked one down to 5 leg for a single and single-handedly saved England's backside today. And they were 2 for 7 in the third over. 7 for 256, he's 102. Haydos is very happy, he's not running around the MCG at his birthday suit. It's a very good day for England at Regatta. He single-handedly saved the game for them in the early stages of the second test match. We know that they're opposed to the pink ball, we know they don't like their day-night test matches, but that has gone a long way to ensuring that they are competitive in this game. Well done, Joe Root. First century for the Poms in this series, and of course only the second by an individual player in the test matches so far. Travis had, of course, that memorable performance in Perth being the other one. There's Luke Page under pressure already from Hayden Smith. Jeez, how quickly did he close that gap? He was all the way down the back straight. Clicking, you miss it, ladies and gentlemen. Smithy's all over the back of Page into the outside at turn 4.
Well done, Craig. Great move. Keep it up.
Page is under threat here. 10-second penalty for car 09 as well. The rear contact of the 990. Okay. That's Jason Wilkinson. That's the second penalty he's incurred tonight. And he's on a hat-trick as well. So not the sort of hat-trick you want to be on Matt Schmidt. He's picked up a penalty in each race so far.
Yep, definitely not.
Down the inside, Marcus Watson on Adam Wavis. Very nicely done.
That's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
13. Gets by. Wavis back down the inside. Nope, not going to fight it. Marcus Watson to 13. 1.2 seconds up the road to Roger Dolan. It would be an invert pole for Marcus if he could grab it. He's only got 2 laps left to do so. 1.5 in fact. 1.25 for our leaders. Actually, no, he won't be grabbing it at all. Look at that. He's got a black flag. And that's him done. Marcus Watson is done on incident points. And he'll be heading to pit road. Oh, another sting in the tail for Marcus. Dear oh dear. Have a look at this. Page, Smith, Ardley, Pedersen, Renchak, Nendek, then Dolan. Nixon, Burke, Fong Wong, and Dolan. Dolan will now hold on
Car left
to position number 12. At the expense of Marcus Watson, who has come to pit lane and will serve that drive-through.
Hold your line. Clear left. Clear left.
Very costly drive-through.
You're on the right. 3 wide.
Big
As in
move
it's an
down the
ahead.
inside.
Looks
Smith,
like it won't.
Smith,
Car
don't get
left.
involved.
Clear
Oh, well
left.
played. He nearly got into the back of Luke Page. That would have been a penalty for him as well. And now Kai Ardley's thrown his head of the ring. Ardley down the inside with nothing to lose. Going by Smith on the inside. Contact and gone.
And then incident in Lauren Jr. You think it might be
Not as
Smith?
costly as Victoria.
You think
Danny
all 3 has
Pedersen's
been
gone to the
built
inside of
in
Kai
turn 8?
Ardley. He's gone back to second. At this stage, Pedersen will only drop to 7th in the standings. Smith is 3rd. That will become 2nd still. Ardley's redressed it. What a moment that could have possibly been!
I just redressed and the car in front had a 10-second.
Oh, you just never know what's going to happen on Grand Final night of the Pantech Industries Porsche Cup. Page is up the hill, look at the goods for another dominant win. He's second in the campaign. Well done to Luke Page. Well done to Ben Patterson. Good recovery, but the 10-second invoice is costly. It's going to drop him down to 6th. In fact, he's put enough points, enough time as he comes through in second. He's put enough distance or a buffer between himself and Eli Donaldson, who's coming into view now and across the line, to go 6th. The title is still alive, but it's in Hayden Smith's hands at the moment. And it's up to Ben Patterson to wrestle it out of them. Page the winner by 2.2, which becomes 6th in the end because Patterson drops down 10 seconds. Hayden Smith will go second, Kai Ardley to third, but I reckon even though we redressed at race control, I'll have another look at it. Then you go back to Sam Chapman, Matty Denchin for 6th, which will become 5th. Then Patterson slots in there, Donaldson, Nixon, Burke, Gollan, Fung Wong, and Lavis the top 12. Uh-oh. Bondi, what happened? You're 15th. What happened?
Got moved. I kept my line, and then they just moved across into me and put me in the fence. So that's
okay.
Great.
All right. So there's another incident to have a look at from race control. Oh wow! The Australians have held on to one somehow.
Race control
They've somehow held on to one. They were heading for a collision. The two teammates. Marnus Labuschagne and Alex Carey. They've collided, but Carey somehow still snaggled the catch. England are 8 down. There's 45 minutes left in the day's play. If they lose those next 2 wickets in the next half an hour, Australia will have to bat 1 or 2 overs tonight. That's the craziness of what's awaiting us at the Gabba. And the craziness of what's awaiting us here in the Pantech Industries Porsche Cup finale is that we have, for once in our lives, a 5-minute warm-up, not a 2. So therefore, that tells me that there might be some weather on the horizon, and therefore some decisions might have to be made. But have a look at that. M. Dench, three votes. Best on ground. 8 seconds off the lead-up. And what will end up being position number 5 in that race.
Okay, so
what the
to save
hell?
any bias in anybody
He
getting
will
the mute
start
button
from
in the next
position
race,
number.
for race control purposes,
Well, it's
lap
6
number,
at the moment,
car
which
number,
on the invert
and corner number
becomes
if you
7th.
know it. Otherwise, stick to the
So,
lap and corner
he's
number.
got Donaldson
We do
in
not
6th,
need a
Nixon
story
5th,
as to what
Burke
has
4th,
happened.
Gollan 3rd.
Thank you.
And can we just go back to that first page, please, Matty Schmidtke? Rodney Gollan, Chook Fung Wong, and Adam Lavis will be the invert pole sitter. There you go. Paul Wilson, the best place to the open split. That's important because Paul Wood was second, but our championship contenders, those minor place battles, Heaney, Atkins, and Galich are nowhere to be seen. Over the page we go. They should all be there on that second page. Heaney, yes. Atkins, yes, but Heaney's got four positions there on him. And poor old bloody Stephen Lawrence. What the hell happened there? Is he over on the next page? I've clean missed Stephen. I've clean missed him somewhere in there.
The open split.
Oh, sorry, no, sorry. My apologies. I'm looking for the wrong person. I'm looking for a Stephen, not a Stephen. Stephen Gallacher is who I'm looking for. He's not even bloody out there.
Yeah.
He's not even bloody out there. No wonder I was starting to wonder what was going on. Jason Wilkinson has 2 penalties coming his way. Tristan Koch is in 10th. So Wilkinson, just for by the by, Wilkinson in that first race, I'm pretty sure he picked up a 10-second penalty in race 2, and he picked up a 10-second penalty in race 1. So that 10-second penalty in race 2 isn't actually going to impact him. He's going to finish 4th. So Wilkinson's actually in the box seats, I would suggest, considering that Stephen Gallacher hasn't got a round to fall back on. He's already got 4th. That's fine. Tristan Koch, he's got him covered off, so that ticks that box. Koch is probably going to 4th as well. Barry Punter's out, we know that. But Heaney and Atkins, by staying out of trouble in relation to the other 2, are probably helping themselves cement 2nd and 3rd in the series. What the hell? Oh, madness tonight. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. You'd expect nothing less, though, when we go Porsche racing, in sprint mode at least, on a Thursday night. the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. Full send for you,
Just 2
Bondi, from
minutes
15.
left. 2 minutes
Full
to go.
send. He's muted at the moment. I can't talk to him right now.
No.
No? Okay. Is there any
afford
rain
penalties.
on the horizon? No, not by the look of it. Okay. We wait to see. We wait to see if there's any rain on the way. That might also update, Schmitty, because there'll be a 10 or 15 minute bump between the warm-up session finishing and the race starting. So let's have a look at that when the time's right. Edson taken, gone. Starkey's got 5. Carter's got to go. Second ball duck. Stark's got 2 in the over. And England a 9 for 264. Well, all of a sudden I'm looking at 2 from 3 for my good mates that asked me for the cricket tips earlier in the day. And I'm very happy about that. It's about the only thing that's gone right today. Paddy Klein and Sam Chapman are out on the circuit at the moment. They're circulating. You've got your eyes on Klein there. Everybody else staying in pit lane at the moment. Nobody really out there to assess the conditions right now because at the end of the day, there's nothing to assess. There are still damp patches of water on the road. There's still a little bit of uncertainty around with regards to when that might disperse, but there's no imminent threat of rain arriving right now. That might change in 15 minutes when the server jumps into race mode, which is about half a minute away for those of you tuning in at home. On the way there, let's remind everybody, Pantech Industries Porsche Cup tonight. We'll crown the champion. We'll do that in a moment. Smith in the box seat. Second, bit of housekeeping. Australian Open World Nationals, Sunday, December 14. The boys will do the end of year GSRC Awards at 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. We'll break. We'll start a new broadcast. We'll welcome in SRW and FDL. We'll bring you the Australian Open World Nationals, what are we up to now? 6th edition
Checker
thereof.
flag, P15.
That will be live from a circuit yet to be confirmed. That will be live on Sunday, December 14, 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time and 8 p.m. for the race start.
That's the end of the session.
Season
P15.
calendar 2026A, Term 1, will be announced. As Luke Page says, it's been fun so far. Bloody oath it has. That'll be announced in that first show, 6 to 7:30. That the boys will be doing, Liam Banks, Greg Heaney and Josh Zuno. And then, of course, we remind everybody that tomorrow night we wrap up the regular term of competition with the Indy NXT finale from the Brickyard. 95 minutes of racing there, 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time, green flag 8:45. If you're an audience member of the GSRC, if you're a regular, and you haven't tuned into the Indy NXTs, do yourself a favour. Ashes on one screen, us on the other. If you're an Indy NXT runner, you're eligible for the Australian Open World Nationals. Register your interest with Josh Zuno. We're here with thanks to Sprite and Cider, Pantech Industries, Trophy AIs, Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, merch.tgsrci.com/graphics. Adam Davis, it's appropriate that our GSRC Hall of Famer, our life member, will lead this field to green for the final one of the term. Watch the man in 7th. His name's Matty Dench. All eyes on Hayden Smith and Ben Patterson as well. The final one of the term for the Pantech Industries Porsche Cup. 37 minutes or 23 laps from the Interlagos circuit in Brazil. Lights ablaze. Let's go. Slow start for the front 2. Through to go Dominic Burke. They're spinning one from the run down towards turn 1 now. Hold your breath. Denty's going to try and stay out of trouble through the first corner. He's getting squeezed by the millions of Donaldson and Chapman. And Donaldson's around.
Looks like Chapman.
No, it's Chapman. It's Chapman that's around. Chapman's gone.
He's still there.
On the opening lap. Can you believe that? He did well to not be collected by anybody.
Who's one in the background?
Missed him. Big one up towards
damaged.
where I normally cause carnage in
Oh,
Formula
and
1. You
there's
look
even-
at that now.
Oh,
We've got damage on the front
oh,
end.
that.
We've got
That's,
damage.
no, that's an
That's
enormous
a big
jump.
one.
Esquina do Lago.
And
I
that
think
will
it might
probably
be.
be a safety car. I don't
Looks like
think
P4
Glenn
has
Arden
gone
has a
up
choice
there.
not to
Centre
deploy
S.
the safety car. On that one, have a look at this.
You'll need to
Have
slow
a look
down
at the
if you don't want
casualty
a
list.
penalty.
They're still registering off-track alerts. David Haynes on the tow rope, Richard McLaren, Craig Bond, Pat Klein, John Aikens,
Yellow flag.
Alan
Watch
Dawson, Colin Bennett, Greg Heaney, Dean Reddit, they're all involved. And this field has been obliterated. What on earth? Oh, Dempsey! Oh, Jeez, Donaldson and Nixon side by side. Nixon forcing the issue, going by Donaldson on the inside. This is the final one of the year. We're
All right, Greg,
expecting
the next car
fireworks.
is
All eyes
Bennett's
on the
B
championship
licence, and
contender.
their rating is
Pedersen and
1.5.
Hayden Smith. From the inside goes Kai Ardley. He's gone up into 7th. Danchi's 6th. He's moved +1 so far. Safety car has not been deployed. Can you believe that? Hayne, Klein, Dawson, Reddit, forget about them. They're on the tow rope in pit lane. And there'll be a few more heading in that direction, I would imagine.
There's an incident in Juncow. It looks like Smith.
Wowee! The gloves are off here. Ravis leads Golan, Berg, Donaldson, Nixon, Dench. Smith, Patterson, Ardley's gone. Kai Ardley off the road at turn 1. Contact behind, that was Chuk Fung Wong.
No, sorry.
I want to be able to keep one eye on the ashes, but how can you take your eyes off this? This is absorbing stuff.
Okay,
But at the same time, I can't say I'm surprised, Matt. We'll get a replay of that big one in just a moment. We need a replay of it because that's one of the bigger incidents we've ever seen. In fact, that all of a sudden makes the Toyotas of Imola look positively brilliant. Did I say that on the record? Yes, I did. Absolutely, I did. Lavis in the water. And Golan to his outside. Wrightson racing. 1 and 2 in the championship. Smith
Incident
and
in
Patterson.
turn 5. Looks like it's
Patterson has bragging rights at the moment, but he has nowhere near enough ground on Hayden Smith to overturn the deficit that he's inherited throughout the course of the evening. Nixon down the inside of Dench. Patterson's dropped back to 7th. It's Smith in 8th spot and Haynes in 9th.
Come on, watch these track limits, please, Craig.
Net code for the 183, contact with the 101. That was Chapman. That was Dench on Chapman. The 183 is Dench. It's net code. So it was.
There's an incident in
So that's
Ferradura.
the
I
first
think it might
incident.
be
We don't
Sykes.
know about the second one. Dench threw a little bit of water, couldn't get by Nixon this time through. I feel like I'm calling the first of bloody Flemington.
I didn't realise who 103 was.
Oh dear, the Aussies, the Poms are 9 for 264. Starkey's got 5. We cannot take our eyes off this. Can we have a look at how dark it is there, please, Matty Schnittke? Unfortunately, this is also a part of the world that doesn't do daylight saving. What time of the day is it over there, please?
B30 in the gaps now, 3.3
Brazil doesn't get
seconds.
the progressive civilised concept of summer either. Look at how dark it is. December 3 at 5:05. The guys are going to need their headlights at the end of this race. They're already on, but I reckon we'll be in pitch blackness by the end of this. Go on to the inside of Lavis to the lead! No! Backs out of it. Backs out of it. Had a look, but backed out of it. Lavis going, Donaldson, going with the run. Going with the run up the outside, forces Lavis to go through the dirt in the wet part of the racetrack. Have a look at Nixon all over the back of Donaldson and Burke like a cheap suit. Harrison's in there, Dench as well, Smith, Haynes, Watson the top 10. Watson the fastest on the racetrack, 1:37.058. This is madness. But at the same time, it is the last one of the season of the calendar year, Matt Schmidt. So if you've got a score to settle, now's the time to get the gloves off and do it.
Watch
Down
those
the
track
inside
limits,
there,
we don't
gets
want
the
a
other pressure.
penalty.
Oscar Haynes is having a good run. Oh, I've got to catch my breath. Jesus. I was not expecting that much carnage in the first 5 minutes of a 37-minute race. If it was a 5 or 10 minute race, Matt, I'd understand it, but Jesus.
Yeah, because I saw that initial car go flying across the track after hitting the wall on the outside there. And I was like, what? And then I just caught in the bottom of the screen,
Surface flags
cars
out.
just everywhere. I thought it was you. It's a very blue car.
That was me. I got full on just shoved into the wall and then just pushed.
Fastest lap for Page,
Oh,
1:36.63.
let's have a look at that when we can, please. Here it is. Oh no! Bang! Now you're very familiar with that wall, aren't you, Bondi? Because that's the one I normally use when we're going to try and cause a red flag in Formula One. And they were just cars, and I shouldn't have that on the record, but still.
The gap behind is
The
now
reality of that
2.8.
is, go on, Betty, come on. Actually, come on, Corey Lazarus. We should have had you out there tonight. That
Window
would
for
have been fun.
refueling should open about lap
Can we
7.
get an eye
It should
James
close
damage
on
check?
lap
Yeah,
60.
actually, how is he
We
stopped?
didn't
No,
record pit
more trouble.
timings. A
As
few
we pick him
estimates
up,
won't be
Jones goes to
reliable.
19th. There's more
There's an
trouble
incident
behind
in
him.
Lesquita
18th
de
now.
Lago. It
Yeaman's
looks like
slowing down.
Cook.
Jones has gone through. Yeaman's going by. That car is a lap down. Don't worry about that. That is Paddy Klein. That is Paddy Klein a lap down. I was worried about that for a moment. Don't need to be. Danny Patterson's gone to fourth.
Oh
Hayden
no,
Smith has been
Craig,
relegated
start
to eighth
taking
in
these
all
track
of that, so
limits
there's 4
seriously.
positions now between him and Benny Patterson. Oscar Haynes is out of the race.
There's an
He's
incident
dropped
here.
down
Pico
out of the
Dupato.
top 10.
Looks like
He
it's
was
Haynes.
up in 7th a few moments
Oh,
ago.
there he
He's
is.
pointed backwards there. You just saw Dan Yeaman drive on by him. Haynes
There's an
is
incident here.
done.
Jump
He'll get
out.
back
You
into
think
the
it might
race.
be Burke?
But any hope he
The
had
guy
of
in
winning
front
it
is
has
Wong,
evaporated.
B-licence.
Eli Donaldson leads in Brazil at the end of lap 4 of 23. Oh, this is madness. All of a sudden, you're disappointed that this is the last one of the term, aren't you? So Donaldson, it's like then Nixon, then Patterson, then Dench. Oh boy, there are so many non-championship contenders in the mix here. You don't want, and I must say, right? I must say, I'm so relieved, Matty Schmidt, you would have hated for that incident there involving Bondi. It happened far enough back that it didn't implicate the championship contenders. You would have hated for the championship to be a won or lost that way.
We're looking all right here. Keep your concentration nice and smooth. B27.
Much damage as that's caused because of the amount of drivers that have now either ended up out of contention or on the tie rope or parked up altogether or compromised. And let's be honest, there are a few drivers that have come in on lap 4 or lap 3 in a bid to just get rid of the damage, get the fast repair and press back on. So they're doing the reverse strat. So we've already passed that critical lap number, or either that or they're just going to try and fuel save their way home if they think they can get 19 or 20.
Start taking these track limits seriously.
You would have hated for the championship to have still been won and lost that way.
Yeah, it certainly would have thrown a spanner in the works if one of the championship contenders got taken out in that, but luckily neither of them did, so they can race to the finish line.
Okay, Craig, the next car is Chapman. B-line car, right.
2 positions ahead of Smith, so
right side's clear.
double points in this race. That might.
The car in front of us is Bennett, B-licence, and their rating is 1.5. Slippy surface flag.
Joe Root has just tried to reverse
The
sweep.
leader has just done 135.79.
So England are now just trying to survive at the gap at 9 to 270. He's 112 of 189, run rate 3.96. We suspect Australian
track limits, come on.
Half hour. Remembering stumps at 10:30, so any
Left
time
side,
that
clear left.
it's a 10-minute interval, and the Aussies will have to just survive to see out the clock.
Incident
Whoa,
John
Adam
Cow.
Davis
Looks like
finds
it's
the comfort
Smith.
there with Eddie Patterson through to second goes. At this stage, the runner-up in the championship. And there is still a little bit of moisture on the circuit. Seeing a little bit of water being kicked up.
B26.
A second the margin. Donaldson to Patterson. But now it's key for Patterson. He's got clear air with the exception of Donaldson. If he can get by Donaldson, he's got clear air. Hayden Smith doesn't have that luxury at the moment. He's got good company. He's got Watson, Dench and Nixon all ahead of him. Watson the fastest driver of the race.
Track limits, come on.
Right, gee. I don't want to second guess it, but I think it's still good.
The guy ahead is dodgy.
I think
Cook,
at the moment, given that
D-licence, and their
Patterson
rating is
had that 10-second
1.2.
invoice and lost, I think it was 4 or 5 spots in the end. Did we say it was second?
Right front, 94%. Rear
it was 2
right,
from 2 for
94.
Patterson, so therefore... Sorry. Second for Smith, it was Luke Page winning the second race.
Copy, 1-1.
Patterson getting relegated. It was Smith winning the first race, second in the second. But because he won the first race, he's got the bonuses there. Because Patterson then lost 4 spots to him in the second race, the buffer to play with at the moment is brilliant for Hayden Smith. At the moment, he's 6th. Patterson is 2nd. I think 4 positions is still good enough. I don't know if there's anyone around that can crunch the numbers on our behalf in the absence of Adam Lavis. But yeah, this is going to be it's going to be tight. Probably still single-digit margin, but it's still in Smith's favour, I want to say, especially with the fact that he got the fastest lap of the race in one of those earlier races. And if they've had a clean race, he certainly didn't in the second, but if he had a clean race in the first, then that'll help him out as well. Donaldson, Patterson, Watson, Dench, Nixon. Have a look at this. Down the inside, Smith on Nixon. Oh, trouble, trouble, trouble. Game back on. Game back on. Smith's going to redress that, but any hope he had of catching Eli Donaldson and Benny Patterson has fast evaporated. Another one. Another moment. Another sting in the tail. In a night full of them. My voice is going to be shot I'm not going to be able to commentate tomorrow night. Ryan Jones has now picked himself up a black flag for incident points, so that's a drive-through penalty for Jonesy. His night goes from bad to worse. After having a solid run at Lamar, he probably should have just parked up there, I reckon. 10-second. Oh no. Oh, no. Have a look at that. Contact with the 67, Kai Ardley on lap 2. Now, I mentioned that Ardley went off the circuit. We didn't know the cause of it. We need to see that on replay if we can, please, Schmitty. Benny Pedersen's got a second 10-second invoice coming his way. In the same way that Jason Wilkinson's copped 2 already tonight, Ben Pedersen now has as well, and that changes everything. That was the move. Ardley, Pedersen. Oh, no, this is live. Sorry. No, that's live. Forget I'm saying that. That's Smith and Golan getting by Ardley. And Paul Wilson before that as well. There's the move down. Pedersen's the second one in view. Pedersen is the second one in view. And that also implicated Chuk Fang Wong. So can we go on board with Benny by any chance? On board? Pedersen to the inside. Yeah. There's the contact. There's the incident. And she's done. Are you kidding me? Wowee. So Luke Page is there in 10th place at the moment. He's got Kai Ardley just ahead of him, and Ardley's down on the inside of Rodney Golan now. Page forceful on the inside, trying to get the move done, trying to move up into 8th, does so. Wilson does not need to be in this fight. A, it's not his split, and B, he's already got his championship wrapped up. But he's going to force the issue with Ardley anyway, and Ardley's wide, going up the hill. Wilson holds on. 9 for 272, the Poms. They're surviving for the moment. 27 minutes left in the day's play. Here's Marcus Watson to pit lane. Another pit stop for him.
I guess this must be the first lap that you could get home on the fuel, would be my guess.
Possibly. Quite possibly.
Stephen Lawrence in as well.
Well, actually, that's a good point. 13 and a half, so 23 and a half minutes to go. Yeah, probably a fair call. Matt Schmidtke, which means anyone that's pitted earlier than that may well have to either very heavily fuel save or just park it up and cop the second invoice and go down for a top-up down pit lane partway through that second stint, closer to the end of the 37 minutes. Pat Klein, Alan Dawson showing a lap down. Alan Sykes showing 3 laps down. Reg Burke parked up and done. Bondi's parked up and done, but he's still sitting here with me in central commentary. Just threw the towel in, Bondi. Couldn't be bothered after that.
Don't know why I should keep racing if that's what's going to happen to me. Just retaliation from earlier. But
did you get involved in another incident that I haven't seen yet?
No, so race 1, I tapped the water and he's hanged around the outside, and then he just knocked me like 3 times and then puts me in the fence. So
that's fair.
Classic Oscar Hancock move. So not much more to say on that. So
copy.
Oh, Will Stanley move too.
Yes, true.
Throw that in. Who else can I name?
Wow, that's a big hit from Joffrey Archer. Jeez. He's absolutely tonked that. 6 for Joffrey Archer. Scotty Boland's just been pummeled over square leg for 6. Wow, 9 for 279. The Poms, they're trying to survive. They're trying to see out the day. Here's Eli Donaldson under pressure now for the lead of the motor race. Down the inside, Pedersen. Despite the 10-second invoice, he goes to... Oh, he's lost it on the exit. There goes Donaldson. Oh, no! Pedersen now caught up with Dench. There'll be a redress on that from Denchi. Any hope he had now of getting the job done tonight against Eli Donaldson may have just evaporated as well. What is going on out there tonight? Oh, wow.
Interesting to have a look at that. I feel like Denchi was up there, but maybe not. I'll have a look if I can find it.
This is ridiculous, what's going on out here tonight. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's obviously
Ben-
redressed it, so he
yeah.
obviously, by his own admission, thought he was in the wrong there. I mean, but when it's that fine a margin, obviously the door got clamped on him pretty late, so I can understand why
Yeah.
that's happened.
Yeah. See, Ben did come around, and there was just a little bit of overlap. It's a very unfortunate incident there.
If you're playing Powerball tonight, the numbers are on your screen at the moment if you're watching the cricket on 7. Here's Benny Pedersen to pit lane now, and he's come in. That's live, so he's on pit road right now with a 10-second invoice and that incident as well on top. This is now Hayden Smith's to lose. Have to feel for Benny Pedersen. I feel as though, take nothing away from Hayden Smith, he's going to be a very worthy champion as well, but I just, throughout the course of the season, I think Benny Pedersen's been the most improved. Just the sheer work that he's put in, the fact that he's been able to string the results together, he's avoided, for the most part, until tonight, the bad luck, the little 1%ers that have always gone wrong for him. I feel as though he's been the most improved, and we've seen that on so many occasions. We've seen that throughout the course of the year, the way in which he's gone about his business. He's become a more formidable, more prominent, more dominant force. And he's done a marvellous job, and it's going to be to no avail. He'll be elated for his teammate Hayden Smith, but no doubt there'll be a tad